Lightweighting means reducing mass and consolidating parts. No one tackles these design and tooling challenges better than three-dimensional services. We'll provide flexible tooling solutions, including integrating parts, reducing design complexity, or even design changes. We're the go-to source for rapid manufacturing and low-volume production. Trust three-dimensional services to develop the most efficient approach to meet your lightweighting challenges today. Three-dimensional services. Prototype, production, proven.
As you can tell, I like to go fast. Our race team is really well prepared. We like to look good, but we also like to dress good, and that's why we shop at Franklin Road Apparel. I own the company, and I wear the clothes that we sell in that store. So check us out. We carry all the top brands: Baldwin, John Barbados, Billy Reed, Goodman brand, and on down the list. So come see us. Franklin Road Apparel, Franklin, Tennessee.
Welcome to the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. It's moving into the second half of the season for TA2, and it's hotting up nicely in the championship chase. Rafa Matos, our champion, leads at the moment with 140 points and 2 wins. But it's certainly not going to be plain sailing, because the men chasing him have definitely got the capabilities of beating Rafa on their day. Thomas Merrill, second in the championship, just 16 points behind. Then Tyler Casera in third position. Fourth is Cameron Lawrence. Mike Skeen is fifth. And sixth overall in the championship is the youngster, Evan Slater, at 110 points. He's leading the Rookies and the Young Guns Championship, and is more than capable of winning in the second half of the season. But what about this weekend? Well, second in the championship is Thomas Merrill. He's got 1 win, and he always goes well here. We spoke to him earlier with Ben Sissel.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. Excited to be here with Thomas Merrill, who's had quite a good few weeks. You podiumed here, LMP3, second at Le Mans. You won Lime Rock and TA2, 16 points behind the champion, Rafa Matos. What's your strategy?
Our strategy is to keep doing what we're doing. The win at Lime Rock was a real shot in the arm for us. It's the motivation we needed to push to the end of the season. But it's such a tight championship, there's no room for mistakes from here on out. So we have to make sure we keep the car in one piece, we get the best finishes possible, and we stay out of trouble.
As a sports car guy, I love Mid-Ohio because of the technicality, but you guys are racing momentum sports car muscle cars, if that even exists. So how does Mid-Ohio suit you?
Well, the TA2 car is probably the most fun car to drive that I get to drive at any given day, but Mid-Ohio is one of the more fun racetracks to race on. And it's because it's got a little bit of everything, and there's a grip challenge to it. The pavement here is sealed, and it's a lower grip threshold than we're used to, so it keeps things interesting from a tire management and slip angle perspective.
Yeah, next week at Road America, it's going to be so important that you finish this race and can drive it under the trailer under its own power. And then Road America, what's your strategy?
Well, it's Road America is going to be a really, really tricky race because we're going to have a lot of cars there. And so it's really just about managing the attrition and making sure that we're in a good place at the end of the race. But I'm confident my Mike Cope team and my Bridge Hall Mustang that we're gonna show well at these two racetracks as long as we stay out of trouble.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We are getting ready for our big feature race of the day, and that, of course, is Trans Am. It's a beautiful day here, although there is the possibility of some rain coming down later in the day. We're hopefully going to miss it for Trans Am, and as you can see, the action continues fast and thick throughout the day. It's a beautiful race car course, this, and certainly one of the favourites for IndyCar and all the championships that come here, including Trans Am. In action at the moment, just some FR races, but we get ready for Trans Am very soon indeed. And we'll have all the angles covered from high above. Yesterday we saw some great action in TA where Chris Dyson and Matt Brabham were doing a great job. And we hear rumor that Dyson might even be trying to get an entry into TA2 for a race that's coming up. And that, of course, is in Nashville, where TA2 are on the bill for the IndyCar race there around the streets of Nashville. And, of course, Scott Borchetta, our one and only TA2 driver, and Ken Thwaites, both helping organize and sponsor that event. In a moment, we'll go down to the pre-grid and hear what's happening down there in terms of preparation for the race. And at the moment on track, Raul Hyman doing the business as he did yesterday, came in and joined me for some commentary as well. But he has dominated proceedings in the FR Championship, so look up that on their website place, as well as F4. So let's head down. Ben Sissel's down there on the pre-grid, getting ready for Trans Am to get underway. Let's head down to Ben Sissel.
So here I am at the fan walk, beautiful fan walk, lots of fans here, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Rhett Barco, the next two races are very important for you. How's it feel?
Feels good. I didn't get the qualifying that I would have liked, but I just know I got my work cut out for me today in this Berryman MPEC, BarcoCars.com Dodge Challenger. But it should be a good race, and this track has a lot of good passing opportunities, so it should be a fun race.
Nice. And all the Mopar fans here really appreciate the Challenger. Next weekend at Road America, you should have some of your friends out there. That's like your home track.
Yeah, we do have quite a big list of people coming, some of our friends, family, employees, and they're all really excited to finally see me race since they watch me all the time across the country, and now they'll actually get to see me in person.
Nice. I love it. Rhett Barco, one of our young guns. And I'm going to come over and talk to Adrian Lostowski in this beautiful Hawk Performance Ford Mustang. Then, Keith, I'm coming to you. Adrian, how does it feel to be back at Mid-Ohio? I know you've had some good luck here.
Yeah, we had good luck here last year. I feel like we had good speed last year, and now coming into this year, I think conditions got better in qualifying as the run went on. We do have the newest, freshest tires because we decided to call it early. And that's it. You know, we're hoping for a good finish. Keith and I were just talking about these interviews, and we're like, we want to do an interview about nothing, you know?
Oh, we can do that.
Like, you know, we just want to talk about nothing. And, like, we want to talk about how competitive the field is, how tight we are. You know, he gets nervous, so he gets in the car earlier. I don't get nervous, right? So I like try to wait outside to the last minute, right, and be late to everything. Then Billy gets mad at me, and that's kind of like the attitude we go for. So
you want to do like interviews of Seinfeld, just interviews about nothing.
We just
nice.
spoke
All
about
right.
that.
So
interviews about nothing.
Adrian Lostowski here in the number 3. Then we go to Keith Prochuk, but your car's back here, but. I know you like Mid-Ohio. Then next weekend we go close to your home. So how does it feel to be back in Mid-Ohio?
It's I do feel very comfortable here. But like you say, next year is my home track, or next week is my home track. I want to make sure I bring the car home in one piece because I got a bunch of family and friends coming. But I'm sure as soon as I put the helmet on, that plan's going to go out the door, and I'm going to just try to charge to the front.
Nice. Well, Keith Prochuk there. Look for him in the HP Tuners Mike Cope car. And we're going to come through. Look out, guys. Sorry. Don't hit our camera guy. Keep coming. He's going backwards, guys. Next time, Tony, I'll flip around. Here's Tyler Casera in front of Barry Bowe's car. But Tyler, as a Miata driver, it seems like Mid-Ohio is really going to suit you momentum drivers.
Yes and no. I mean, you got to really turn the car and point it here. Rotating the car is really important. So there's some similarities. It's a very technical track, and there's very few places to pass. So, you know, we're going to have to make the most of the couple of passing zones we do have.
Nice. Tyler Casera there up front in the points. We're going to come to Barry Bowes. Barry, this is good qualifying for you. What was your secret yesterday?
Well, we started off, or finished last year with a car that was down on power. We moved over to the choice motor, and we got the power problem fixed. We were running really good power-wise, but we just couldn't get the car to turn. Finally, this weekend, after several races worth of work, everybody got it together. We got the car turning, and with a car that turns and makes power, we can make some speed. So we're real happy.
Nice, especially in Mid-Ohio. Barry Bowes, nice job, man. See you up front. I love it. Then we come to Cameron Lawrence, who has had some unbelievable history here at Mid-Ohio. Just a few years ago in a different car, he got on the podium with basically the whole body panels were up in the air, tons of draft. But Cameron Lawrence, what's your plan when the green flag drops? Because knowing you might be a little disappointed with this qualifying position.
Yeah, we had a little bad luck in practice with some traffic and kind of running out of time in practice for a good qualifying spot. So we got held up in qualifying too. So we're farther back than we want to be, but we know we've got a good race car. So we're definitely, as soon as the green comes out, we just got to try to go as quick as we can and make work with some of these guys in front of us and try to get back on the podium.
So no pressure, but Turn 4 is Franklin Road Apparel Turn 4, but at the start it's going to be Franklin Road Apparel Turn 1. Green flag drops. What's your strategy?
Pass as many cars as we can. No, that's a good turn to pass in, so hopefully we do make a lot of passes there in Turn 4 in front of all the Franklin Road signs. So, yeah, it's been a good car. We're thrilled to be with Ken. Ken's an awesome team owner, and he had a great run yesterday, so hopefully make him proud today.
Nice. I love it. So watch out for Cameron Lawrence in this number 6 Franklin Road Apparel. Evan Pecor. Last year, Jonathan, you'll remember this, he was racing super fast, and we were both like, who is this dude? We found out he loves Mid-Ohio. His home track is Road America. How do you feel about your qualifying position, Evan?
We're thrilled with our qualifying position. This is the best we've ever qualified in the Trans Am Series, so it's we're super excited for the race because we know we race better than how we qualify. So looking forward to moving up throughout the race and seeing what the car's got.
Nice. I love it. Evan Pecor out here also with Value Pro, taking care of some of the vintage cars out here with Scott Graham and that beautiful Pontiac. Then we're going to come over here to Mr. Norris, newcomer to the Trans Am Series, newcomer to TA2, but definitely not new to racing. He's raced in the NASCAR Series. He's sponsored here by his father, Chuck Norris, with C-Force water, and you got to read their bottles because I think it says a roundhouse kick to the face of hydration, which I love. Welcome to the series. How's it feel?
It's very exciting to be here. I mean, the cars are a lot of fun to drive, and you know what? I'm with Scott Lagacy and his dad, and it's just a great group of people. So I'm not quite there. I'm a mid-packer, and hopefully if we can race hard and stay out of trouble, we'll have a good day today.
Well, you picked one of the most competitive road racing series in the world that you could have picked. So to be here in your first time, that's got to feel good. And can you feel a big difference in the stock cars that you have experience in and now what I kind of call a stock car with a wing and a little bit more aggressive stance and a little bit lighter? Can you tell the difference?
Coming here in a stock car is not nearly as much fun as driving these cars. The stock cars, they're just super heavy and they want to plow where, these are sports cars. They run really hard and they handle really well and they're a lot of fun to drive.
Nice. I love it. Eric Norris with C-Force Water. We're going to be giving some of this away here at Winter Circle, so make sure you come out to Winter Circle. Eric, welcome to the series. All right, we're coming over here to Scott Borchetta, talking to Adam Andretti right now. Let's just interrupt their conversation if you guys don't mind. Adam, I was talking to you about you might have the most laps around this track, but not the most racing laps, but you were an instructor here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, the Mid-Ohio school here is excellent. Actually, it's a place that a lot of the competitors will come ahead of a competition weekend because it doesn't interfere with any rules about getting the lap times or track time. And the instructors there are top-notch, often led by Tommy Byrne and Brian Till, and it's a wonderfully led group of people. So it's a place to go. I mean, they do a teen school here and things like that. But it was definitely a wonderful 4 years of my life that I spent here. I learned this track a lot, and I like when the cracks in the pavement wave at me as I go by and let me know they're still here and hanging strong. But I love the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, how it's operated and ran, and we love coming here as a Trans Am Series, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
Nice. And Scott Borchetta, let's come up here so everybody can see the beautiful paint scheme on the car. Look, he matches Scott, you've run a lot of different series here this weekend, and now I think this is a pretty good qualifying for you. How does it feel to be at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course?
You know, I really love this place, and I was talking to Adam before and getting a few pointers, and, you know, row 4 is the Italians, so we're coming after you. But we love this place. There's high speed, good technical turns. You know, you got to get your braking right. You got to get your shift points right. And so, you know, we're really excited. This is our best starting position in a year, so we can see the leader from here.
And you've had really good finishes here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, we've done well here, so, you know, we'll just try to keep it clean. Out in mind, we're just talking about what we want to do on the start, and then let's get in line and go racing.
And will you be back with us next weekend, your birthday weekend at Road America?
You know it. That's my best finish so far. So we finished 4th there last year, and we can't wait to get back to Road America. So these two tracks in particular are definitely two of our favorite.
Now, a question we've had a lot in the comments. Are you running the 48? That's not Jimmy Johnson, right? That's Dan Gurney.
Yeah, it's Dan Gurney and Bobby Unser. Of course, everybody's a Jimmy Johnson fan, but old school, Dan Gurney.
Nice. I love it. Thank you, Scott Borchetta. We're going to come over here now. Dylan Archer. Dylan Archer, just a few minutes ago, had a collision on the grid. A car came in on the tow truck and hit him right here. He wasn't moving. Everybody was trying to yell at the tow truck, but, you know, the tow truck was trying to navigate through. It was on a swing, and boom. But, Dylan, I guess everything's okay in your FPEC TA2 car?
Yeah, everything's fine. Luckily, we escaped that with no damage, but we're looking forward to today. We didn't have the qualifying that we wanted, but we know that we have a fast car, and we'll move forward to the front just where we want to be.
Nice. I love it. Dylan Archer and this beautiful food processing equipment company, Ford Mustang. We got to talk to Misha Goikberg, if Misha's there. Misha, Mid-Ohio. I know you like this track. You've had some good luck here in the past, so tell us about when the green flag drops. What is your strategy?
I like all tracks, not just this one, but I think we're going to try to stay clean today, conserve the tires, and push hard at the end. But if we can get a position or two at the start, we will.
Well, you're always one of the hardest chargers at the start, especially last year when you were on like a limited basis. But now that you're running for a championship with BC Race Cars, have you gotten more conservative? Because if you have, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm about to.
He's about to, he says. Sounds like maybe Blaze had a little talk with you. Is that what happened? He doesn't want to comment. No comments, he says. All right, we've got a Porsche coming through. He's got his blinkers on, so that's nice of him. Watch out, everybody. We got a Porsche coming through with his blinkers on. Obviously not a BMW. Brent Cruz, one of our youngest, actually the youngest in our series, in the Young Guns, doing really well, qualified 5th. And you don't seem to be happy with just 5th.
Yeah, I'm always looking for better. We had really good speed in practice, going quickest, and we made a little bit of mistake with the setup and a little bit on my end. We came in and got it better, but it just wasn't enough.
Nice. Well, Brent Cruz here in the number 70. Look for him. He's out here signing autographs. We got to get a shot of this. This is a fan walk. So Brent Cruz is right here. You definitely want to get his autograph. But you know what? I'm going to take a little foray over here into one of my favorite cars. I didn't get to talk to him at Lime Rock, but if you take a look at me, you can tell that I like my ice cream. So this man right here, Aaron, I don't know where he is. Check this out. Dairy Queen on the back. I really like this car right here. Tyler Ankrum. Dude, nice to meet you. I'm Ben from Nashville. You had really good luck in Nashville this weekend in the Truck Series. Is this your first time in TA2?
Yeah, it is actually. I'm pretty excited to be here racing.
Nice. And you're having to start in the back because this is basically one of your first sessions out there, right? So green flag drops. You don't really have a feel of the car. What's your strategy?
Swing for the fences, really. I mean, there's really not much more you can do, right? Just put the pedal down and go to the front.
Ooh, I like that. Swing for the fences. That should be fun to watch. As we come over, I don't see Rafa. Wait, Connor Mosak, come here, buddy. Don't go too far. Connor Mosak on the pole. Connor Mosak also in our Young Guns, 3-time Motul Pole Award winner. Pressure's on you right now. Green flag drops going into Franklin Road Apparel turn 4, which is turn 1 at the start. How does it feel?
Feels good. Our car's really fast. High Point University Mustang here, but we've been on the pole twice already this year and haven't been able to turn them into a win yet, so hopefully today's our day.
Definitely due for a win as Connor Mosack in the High Point University HPU car. Rafa Matos, he's won here a few times, I think 2 times in TA2, one here in Indy Lights. Now, Adam Andretti thinks that you or Guy Cosmo might have the most racing laps here at Mid-Ohio. Does Mid-Ohio suit the Rafa Matos style?
I hope so. It's been a good place for me my whole career here in the United States. I have a lot of laps. I raced Skip Barber, Indy Lights cars and prototypes, everything you can name it. And Trans Am, we've been able to be successful here. And today should be a good day for us. We feel that we missed that pole position by a little bit. The car wasn't 100%, but we feel that we made some good changes overnight, and we have what it takes to win.
Nice. I love it. Rafa Matos. Now, since last time, this man won at Lime Rock, but between Lime Rock and here, he goes and gets second place with Cooper McNeil at Le Mans, and now here he is second place, hoping to improve on that at Mid-Ohio. Thomas, how's it feel?
It's feeling good. I felt really good after qualifying yesterday until Connor went out there and did a great job. So full credit to him for pulling that lap out. But I think we got a good race car. The Bridge Hall Mustang is always a good race car. So I'm confident for our race today, and we might have changing conditions, which I'd be okay with.
Nice. Well, Thomas Merrill is you do well in the rain. We saw that at Lime Rock. Real quick, I'm going to come over here to Elias Anderson because I love my awkward questions. Elias, last place, man, that's not like you.
Last place? This isn't last.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, we're at the middle of the grid. Yeah, I got that totally wrong. Let me fix that. This isn't last place. You're actually doing pretty well. You got to feel pretty good about this.
Pretty well is an exaggeration, but we're not last.
Yeah, not last. He's mid-pack, I guess. Sorry about that.
Right in the middle.
I got my math totally wrong. The producers corrected me as you did. But we're here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Elias, green flag drops mid-pack. That's a dangerous place to be.
It certainly is, but hopefully we stay clean and get some, if we can get a half a dozen good laps in and see where everybody shakes out and then really race from there. I mean, that's the strategy for me.
Nice. I love it. And sorry about that. Didn't mean to insult you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. We're about to crank these things up, but right now we're going to take a little break. Stay with us.
At Ryan, we seek to understand our clients' unique business needs and offer insights from over 75 years of experience. Our menu of integrated services span the entire life cycle of your building, from financing and development to design and construction to property management and maintenance. We think like building owners because we are building owners, and we work hard to assure that your building stays functional and cost-effective for generations to come.
My name is Monse, and I am a senior at Cristo Rey. We bring high school students and corporations together to transform education. I work 1 day a week at Ryan Companies. There are Cristo Rey schools serving students across the country. Visit CristoRayNetwork.org and learn how you can become a corporate partner today.
loves it. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mid-Ohio Road Sports Car Course. And I'm looking forward to what should be a cracking TA2 race. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, live from Mid-Ohio. Welcome around the world to you tuning in to Trans Am. And I'm absolutely honored and delighted to welcome my guest for today's race, which is Al Unser Jr. Yes, the one and only two-time Indy champion and Indy 500 winner 2 times as well. But great to have you on board, and great to have you, more importantly, still involved very much in the sport. Delighted to have you here just to commentate on this. You know IROC, you know Trans Am, you've been around this sport forever, but slightly different. I'm sure you know this course too, but you're also here in an official capacity looking after some youngsters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for having us. I tell you, we're just finished second in the FR race with Matt Clark, Future Star Racing, and so far it's been a good weekend.
And Tony Pirelli now obviously running FR and Formula 4, and a great opportunity, and as I was just telling you, people like Conor Mosak coming through Trans Am. So Trans Am has always been well known for its stars, but now we're starting to get superstars of the future as well.
Exactly. There's a lot of young drivers here, and my understanding is they're kind of using this. Most of them have come from the Truck Series, and because NASCAR is doing more road course racing.
Correct.
The Trans Am is the perfect place to get additional racing in. The more that you could drive a race car in races, the better driver you're going to be.
Good point. Well, we've got a massive field, a record field here for Mid-Ohio. Let's take a look at the grid. We've got some new names as well as some familiar ones. Conor Mosak, no question about his credentials. We just saw him there. He's pole position. He was in the second group. He struggled to get a clean lap, but he got it ahead of Thomas Merrill, who was very quick also in his group. There was 2 groups, such a big field. Rafa Matos, the champion, lines up on row 2 for the three-dimensional services Ford Mustang. And we've got Guy Cosmo coming in, replacing Mike Skeen. Guy Cosmo, if you're well aware of sports car racing and American racing, Guy Cosmo, a familiar name and a real hot shoe to bring in. Brent Cruz, talking of hot shoes, just a kid, but he is more than just a kid. He's a fast one too in that 70 Nitro Motorsports Ford Mustang, starting 5th. Goikhberg in 6th position. Then Borchetta and Andretti, and as Borchetta said, it's the Italians. We're coming for you in 7th and 8th.
That's right.
Yeah. Slater and Evan Pecor, great result for him. Slater up there in 9th. Cameron Lawrence with work to do in 11th. Barry Bowes, best qualifying he's had, the man from Driftwood, Texas, in 12th. Tyler Casera, the former Miata man and winner in in Trans Am already and fighting for the championship. He's 13th. Work to do for him. Adrian Lostowski, a kind of local race for him. The man from New York in 14th position. And Rhett Barco, a former Rookie of the Year, in 15th position. And there's one of those youngsters you mentioned, Corey Heim, on his way to NASCAR and getting some real education here. Keith Prochuk, Darren Mott, Anderson and Ankrum, we heard from him. Petty Pass from Canada. Doug Peterson, who runs the three-dimensional team, he's down in 22nd, a former champion in Trans Am. Sheehan, Dylan Archer, a youngster. Eric Norris, Chuck's kid, is here in 25th position. Chris Cook is in 26th. And it's Ty Young, Rumberg, Gallagher, Michelle Abati, the only female out there today, but she'll be giving it a good go for sure. Kurt Voigt, 31st, and Bruce Raymond in 32nd position. And then Ike Keeler and Jim Gallagher. No time for him. Jim Gallagher having problems in the lead up to this race. But a massive grid, as you can see, and this tiny Mid-Ohio course, it's going to be tough to overtake. It's going to be grueling, 100 miles in all, and of course the potential of rain coming. Let's head down though to Ben Sissel as we get ready for the invocation and those famous words to come.
Well, here we are at the fan walk. It's about to get loud, but before it gets loud, we like our road pastors to give us an invocation to get our heads and our hearts right. Bill Knox, take it away.
Join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you all the praise and glory and thanks for this beautiful day. Father, we ask for your hedge of protection around the drivers, the crews, the fans, the officials. Watch over them, protect them, Father. Keep our safety workers, our law enforcement, and EMS safe, Father. Bless our military around the world. Help bring peace to this torn world, Father. In your Son's most precious name we pray. Amen.
Mr. Knox, thank you very much. Now, local legend Patty Schwall is going to deliver the national anthem. Patty.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Patty Schwall, beautiful. Thank you so much. Now we're going to talk, come over here, our Forge Line family. Mr. Shart, you were just out there in another group in a Yanko Stinger Corvair racing. You clean up really well coming right out of a race car. How was the race at Mid-Ohio?
The race was great. We come up here for vintage racing for the last 50 years. Of course, it wasn't vintage 50 years ago, but we love this place.
So you were vintage before it was cool.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. And Forge Line wheels, for those of you that don't know, make the coolest wheels for all kinds of cars, not just race cars, but street cars. Lots of cars in the car show were in Forge Line's wheels. Let's see how loud the Forge Line family and the Sharts can get with the most famous words in motorsports. Take it away, Forge Line.
From Pirelli and the Forge Line family.
Drivers, start your engines!
We'll let you listen to the roar of those engines as we go through our onboards, including the Hawk Performance and the Franklin Road of Cameron Lawrence and Adrian Lostowski. But let's just enjoy the sound for a second, as well as the ASIO data. Barry Bowes, first time we've been on board with Barry. I'm delighted for him, his best qualifying. And Evan Slater, the youngster, Cube 3 Architecture Interiors Planning. And Evan looking for a big weekend. He's 6th in the championship and leading the rookies and young guns, I may add. Big Machine Vodka, Spike Coolers. What a great story. Scott Borchetta turned from the music industry to be one of our top stars. This his best qualifying. And we'll also have Adam Andretti's three-dimensional services group. Yet we've got the Unzers and the Andrettis here this weekend. It doesn't get any more fun than that. So, yes, we're looking forward to Adam, and he needs some luck. He's had a real rotten run of bad luck as Adam Andretti. But what about this man, Rafa Matos? We'll be on board with him, championship leader, and loves Mid-Ohio, and this could be the make or break of his championship. Two-time champion and current champion, of course, and he's coming in with some pretty handy help this weekend. Mike Skeen, who's won and done very well. Guy Cosmo, first time in the car, but you have a quality like Guy Cosmo, it doesn't take long to get up to speed. He knows what he's doing in a race car, and he certainly knows what he's doing here at Mid-Ohio. Three-dimensional services group will be on board with Guy. It's going to be a big experience for him coming into Trans Am for the first time. And now I guess it's a bit like when you started IROC. You're an IndyCar driver at heart, but then they throw you in a Camaro and go, hey, knock yourself out. But you took to it, and a couple of championships under your belt.
Yeah, we were able to adapt to it pretty well, you know, but then I concentrated on the guys that really run IROC really well, and that was mainly Dale Sr. So our first race at Daytona back in 85 or 86, it was 86, my first year in IROC, and I just stuck to him like glue, you know, and just
that must have been fun, less pressure. And
it was less pressure, but, you know, it was a whole different game, the drafting game and all that kind of stuff, and the big heavy car that I had never driven before, and so it took a little bit to adapt to it, but once we did, we had a great time in the IROC series, and truly
I would
loved
argue
it.
that this form of racing, Trans Am, was probably the closest you got was in IROC. But you did one NASCAR, right? The Daytona 500?
I did one NASCAR, yep, one Daytona 500 in 1993.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. It was a lot of fun, you know. Again, I
Did you
learned
get more
so
respect? 'Cause
much.
I always think there's a lack of, not respect, but the NASCAR boys and the IndyCar boys, it's a big void because of single-seater racing. But once you get stuck in the middle of a NASCAR race, you know you've got some pretty healthy drivers.
Well, exactly, and you need to find friends down at Daytona, okay? And so
don't make enemies
back
in
in
NASCAR.
the days, yeah, it was pretty separated with NASCAR and the good old boys from the South and the IndyCar drivers. But then as time goes on, and when I got into it, that gap had closed. And so, you know, when I made friends with Dale Sr., he brought me right under his arm, right into his fold, okay? And then as the years went by, you know, Tony Stewart going from IndyCar down to NASCAR. I mean, the whole gap, exactly, Jeff Gordon. So that whole gap just totally changed. And then today, it's truly non-existent. You know, NASCAR wants all the drivers. You know, Juan Montoya coming from Formula One.
Kimi Räikkönen is going to do Watkins Glen.
There you go. I mean, Jacques Villeneuve who just run. So that's gone. That's, you know, to get into NASCAR, any kind of racing, whether it be the Daytona 500, the 24-hour of Le Mans, or Daytona 24-hour, or Indy cars, race cars are race cars. You know, which we'll talk about that one young man who ran
Brent Cruz.
Yep, who ran the midget.
Yes.
You know, the more cars, the more disciplines you can drive, the better race car driver you're going to become. It's that simple.
Well, we've just seen a yellow come out on track, and I'm not sure what that's for at the moment as we slot through the onboards. We'll be on board with Rafa Matos, Adrian Lostowski, Barry Bowes. Rafa Matos, there he is. And it's going to be an interesting race because here are the points. Rafa Matos leads on 140. Thomas Merrill, good opportunity for him and for Tyler Cassera and Cameron Lawrence. Mike Skeen dropping down the board because he's not doing the full season. He's doing some INSA racing, but he's been a real factor up until this point. And Guy Cosmo coming in nicely to replace him this weekend. So keep an eye on Evan Slater, Connor Mosack, your pole man. Got a great opportunity here, and let's see where Rafa Matos and how he plays it. Last year, he and Andretti got a 1-2 here, so we know that Rafa likes this place. And here we are on board with Guy Cosmo. the sports car driver turned Trans Am. Really looking forward to this. And certainly take to it, as Al says, like a duck to water. A car's a car, a racing driver's a racing driver.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what you put them in. And I think, actually, because this is what I call pure racing, you know, it's very simple in that respect. No extra gadgets like you would have in IMSA. And so it's all about your feel and your ability as a racing driver.
Absolutely. And with these cars, they don't have a ton of downforce like the endurance cars do, and so on. So these cars, they slide around, and so you've got to have good feel with the race car, especially with the rear end.
Yeah, and I want to know physically, you did the 500 so many times. I would have said 100 miles in a car like this would be a bit like approaching the 500. Not obviously the distance, but in terms of physicality, you've really got to be on your mark here because these cars can get away from it.
To be honest, for me, the road courses were so much more physically demanding than the Indy 500. The Indy 500 is more mental.
Yes.
Because you're at such a high rate of speed all the time, right? And so if the car goes off a little bit, you have to slow down.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Where on the road course, you know, you're driving it sideways, you're shifting gears, you're braking, you're downshifting, you're just all over it, and it makes you breathe hard out here without a doubt.
You won here in Indy. What's it like as a race track to race?
You have to get a rhythm here. This Mid-Ohio is one place because of the elevation changes, the corners going over the hills and so on like that. You really have to develop a rhythm here, and so it takes a few laps to get into that rhythm. Once you're in the rhythm, then it's a beautiful place to drive, no matter what. I consider Mid-Ohio really one of the premier road courses in all of America.
There you go. That's high compliment.
Yep.
You're listening to Al Unser Jr., and if you want to hear about the career that he had, which is an amazing career, to be part of the Unser family who've won the Indy 500 more than any other family, and of course a brilliant history. Checkered Past, I believe it's called.
Yep. We got the book out there.
Shameless plug. I'm trying to get my signed book, but I'll get one. I'll force Al into it. But no, I hear it's a good read. A lot of racing drivers have been reading it. But let's get back to the action. And here we go. Out of the carousel, leading the way, Connor Mosack will try to steal a march on the rest of the field. And here we go to start our Trans Am 100-mile race. But we are in caution. So they are gridding up, but of course we'll start not at turn one like in Indy. That's why Al looks surprised there. We start on the back straight for safety.
Like Indy.
Yes.
Like that's where I've been all weekend long. We've been running the F4 and the FR car with Future Star Racing, and we've been starting at start-finish line. So this is really good. Actually, it's great that they start.
It's better for a Trans Am, especially with a field this big of over 30 cars. Because now, as you can see, they're starting to form up. David Hoots, a long-time NASCAR race director, is making sure that they get them together. We want them as bunched up as possible to give everybody a chance to race. Watch out for this kid, Brent Cruz. You're going to be impressed with this kid.
Yeah, all of my IndyCar starts were on the back, just like this. Yep.
Here we go then. Connor Mosack has the pole position, and he will leave it into the first right-hander at turn 4. But away we go. Merrill, though, will challenge him. Misha Goikhberg right in the middle and in the thick of it. The champion, Rafa Matos, looking for position, but it is going to be Connor Mosack who takes the lead in the whole shot into the start of this race. Merrill takes second place, and a gaggle of all yellow three-dimensional services cars as they group together and try to get Rafa ahead, and Rafa is the lead as he gets ahead of Guy Cosmo, as per plan, I'm sure. But a good clean start, and Al settling it down now, but a long way to go.
Yeah, no, it looks good. They got through that turn 5 and 6 really well, so now they're approaching turn 11 now. It's looking good.
Scott Borchetta got a good start as well. Connor Mosack looking to make hay, and a good point for the High Point University. That's where he graduated with entrepreneurial skills, or he took a degree in entrepreneurship, and therefore a very smart racing driver. Al nodding alongside me.
That was a great start. That's a great opening lap. You know, these guys are really watching themselves, you know. With the closed wheels like this, you know, rubbing is racing, and so they did a fantastic job. They know that they got a long way to go here, and that's what I see.
Yeah, really good clean start. Not a great start from Michelle Abate. I see the all-yellow ghost car at the back there. Dust flying up. Somebody getting it wrong on the exit of the keyhole as we go on board with Adrian Lostowski and the Hawk Performance on board. Beautiful sound. And keep an eye on those onboards because that'll give you the throttle, the brake, and also the top speed as we look at the number 70 Brent Cruz. This youngster right in the middle of these three-dimensional cars. Doug Peterson, the former champion, he's there too. He'll try to make his way through, but what a start to this. And we've got a freight train around Mid-Ohio at the moment as we go on board now with Adam Andretti. On the podium here last year, but he's had a bit of bad luck, and Adam just wanting to turn this weekend into a decent result. If he can get a podium out of this, he'll be delighted.
Indeed. I tell you, Adam's a great friend of mine, and he's just done a superb job. Scott Bruschetta's a good friend of mine. He's doing his level has just gotten better and better and better.
It's a
with,
great
with
story
Scott
too,
Bruschetta.
because
Absolutely.
to be able to turn to racing driver. I mean, you started as a kid. You come from the Unser family. You're bound to know racing. But Scott was what, in his 30s, 40s. He loved racing, but he never had the chance to do it.
Absolutely loved racing. Was from California. Moved to Nashville to do his music business, and highly successful in that. And so now he got back later in life back into his racing, his love. And he's just done a fantastic job.
I asked Scott Bruschetta when he's at one of these music awards, who's the guy that wants to talk cars? And he said, Keith Urban never stops talking cars.
Yeah. Hey, you got to love racing, man. It's all good stuff.
So Rafa Matos in a good position. He's right behind Thomas Merrill at the moment in third position, and I think he's just going to have a watching approach now to this because he doesn't need to do anything dramatic. But now it's 100 miles. Rafa's a very mature driver. He's just going to keep an eye on. He's probably not even going to hound him. He's just going to keep an eye on him for now and make sure that the leader doesn't get too far ahead because he doesn't want to get Mosak. If you were in this position, is that the kind of...
Exactly. What I'd be thinking about right now is taking care of my brakes and taking care of my tires.
Gotcha.
That's the one thing that I want. You know, it's so early in the race. Now the rhythm is starting to come to everyone, to yourself. So now it's all about running some laps. Nothing high risk at all because it's a long way to go.
And you can, when you're stuck behind somebody like this, you can actually preserve the car by using the aerodynamics.
Exactly.
That helps the tires,
Everything about, the best one is the leader. He's got all the downforce on his car. So the thing to do when you're behind somebody, try not to do anything high risk as far as a pass, and then just take care of your tires. Don't slide them. Don't use too much throttle, so on, because you're just too early in the race here.
Well, Guy Cosmo is under big pressure from our youngster Brent Cruz, who's been an absolute sensation, phenom, if you will. And he's up against one of the greats of sports car racing in America, Guy Cosmo, who's making his first entry into Trans Am. But as you can see, he's already pretty handy behind the wheel.
I love the patience that Brent just showed there. He tried to do it, just testing the waters there. It wasn't easy, so he backed out. Patience, and that's what he's doing. He's dogging him, actually, just seeing the openings. That's what he's searching for, is the easy pass right now.
And when you've got 45 laps to get it done, are you, like you say, are you analyzing the guy in front of you to say, okay, he's good there, but I'm on it there, and I can go a little fast, but I'm not going to show him that yet?
Absolutely. What's going on is the beginning of a boxing match.
Yes.
Where you're feeling things out. You're seeing what works and what doesn't, and so on.
You know, we got an instance yesterday in the TA race where we almost had the Formula One like porpoising just with the bodywork of the car flapping in the wind, literally because of the setup of the cars. And we'll see it here, a little bit of flapping. You see that there. That can be a little bit off-putting, but it's not affecting the running of the cars as we're on board with Matos.
It shows that these cars are producing downforce.
Yes, they are.
That's what it shows.
Scott Borchetta making a move on the 94. Nicely done.
Scott, yeah.
I love watching him race, and he does so many SVRA races. He's been out twice already today.
Yeah, he loves the vintage. He's got a super fast Corvette.
Yeah,
that is just fantastic. And he's out here just running and running and running, which is
Tony
great.
give you a run if you wanted to get some SVRA time.
No, that's okay. Thanks. I like doing what I'm doing right now with you.
And I know that the youngsters really appreciate it. Whoa, Rafa gets on the grass, and that wasn't a very smart move by Rafa. How much will that affect? We've always been talking about the grass at Mid-Ohio. You know this from IndyCar racing. It's great that it's so lush here, but if you get that grass in the radiators, you're in a mess.
If you get them in the radiators, it's a mess. That is correct. But what he just did, he just set a wheel off. That's not bad at all. These cars have so much suspension travel, they can get up on those curves, and it won't bother them at all.
Fastest lap of the race is Evan Slater, 126.9, and he's currently in 11th position, so a good battle going on, but we're watching Guy Cosmo because he's under big pressure at the moment from Brent Cruz, and we've got an all-Ford Mustang top 6 at the moment with Andretti in 6th place, just holding off Guy Cosmo, just holding off Misha Goikberg, the Canadian in 7th, then Picor having his best run in 8th, Borchetta 9th, Lawrence in 10th position, and then you can see it all the way down. Heim in 16th position, the young Toyota driver looking to make it to NASCAR. As we look at another youngster, Evan Slater, leading the way in the rookies and leading the way in the Young Guns Championship. A chance to win $20,000 in Peter Gregg Foundation. So a real prize for Evan Slater if he can keep this up throughout the rest of the second half of the season.
Yeah, and I just met Evan Slater this weekend here. We're in talks about him running an FR car for us next year at Future Star Racing, and so yeah, we're in talks. So great kid, great family. We truly look forward to hopefully doing something with him next year.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Al Unser Jr. was very much involved in helping Ernie Francis Jr. make the transition to single seaters, and now look at him, he's in Indy Lights.
Yep, he's in and doing a great job. You know, Ernie, I really loved what Ernie did last year. He comes here, he wins in an FR car. That afternoon, he gets in the Trans Am car and leads the race. Unfortunately, he had a mechanical. And then that evening, he went to Eldora and drove SRX on the dirt and ran up front. And so, again, the more disciplines you can drive, the better race car driver you're going to become.
I got another news story. How about this? Your mate, Scott Borchetta, just did the fastest lap of a TA2 race. 126.7. I don't think I've ever seen him put the purple lap in like that. And look at the people he's up against. He's going to be proud as punch. Now, it may be beaten as the race goes on, but we've documented it.
Yep. Scott, he works at this. He works at it. He's always thinking about racing day in and day out. And he, like I said, he's improved, and now it's just proven that he's getting successful at it.
Clean start to this one, 6 laps of the 45 gone. Al Unser Jr. and myself, Jonathan Green, bringing in the action as Connor Mosack has about a half a second lead over Merrill. Merrill putting big pressure on him in that half a second gap, but so too Rafa Matos, who's been on the grass and out of shape already, but he's right there in 3rd position as we look high above Misha Goikberg, and behind him, Scott Borchetta, the man who's fastest on track. Brent Cruz, sadly, for Scott, has just gone quicker, 126.5, so Brent Cruz now has the fastest lap, but stand by, because that, I think, is going to drop as the load comes down in the fuel, and as the tyres get to their optimum temperature and really give them a chance to run these cars as fast as they can. 170 miles an hour at top speed, and dust flying up as they passed our commentary position just that time. They're pushing on now. Mosack takes it by another 10.6 on that last lap, ahead of Merrill, Matos, Cosmo, Cruz, and Andretti in top 6.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know, there was that threat of rain.
Yep.
We've looked at the radar.
I've got my own weatherman today.
It looks good.
Okay.
So none of the teams are thinking about rain at all. They're on their normal dry strategy for the completion of the race.
Well, my producer just took a deep breath and said, I'm glad you said that because I don't want any rain. She said, there you go.
No, we don't. As a driver, you don't want any rain either. So
But these guys do run in the wet, and of course they've got wet weather tyres. That would change things dramatically. Look at Brent Cruz now. You can see these guys. You can throw a blanket over the top 5. Really close to Dean. Brent Cruz is giving Cosmo all sorts of problems. But, like I said, he's a wily old 24-hour racer, an IMSA champion. Came through the ranks during his career. He's in his mid-40s now, and a very accomplished driver. But Brent Cruz is hungry and young, and look at him side by side. Yeah. Where can you overtake safely here? For both
down into turn 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you just got to get through the keyhole up there and get down that backstretch, use the draft, And
that begins here, isn't it? The drive through here, getting a good drive through turn one, then into the keyhole and getting the drive out of the keyhole.
And turn one's a tricky corner too, so that's your second best place is coming up into turn 2, which we saw Brent make a move earlier. So
into the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers keyhole they go, and there is the man of the moment from Big Machine, Scott Borchetta, and side-by-side action here with the Picor and Goikberg. And the Canadian just squeaking through there as we go back on board with Evan Slater.
That's great racing right there.
Yep, Cube 3 Architecture Interiors Planning. Spoke to his sponsor a couple of times this year. Really pleased with the way Evan is progressing. And we've got a full course yellow now. So that's going to change everything. Al, take us through the mindset of a racing driver. No, sadly, that's Ken Thwaites that's gone off.
See that again, turn one.
No, excuse me. That is Lawrence that's gone off. No, I got it wrong again. I'll get it right. There's 4 cars out. Is that Ryquist, I wonder?
Yeah, that was turn 1. Again, turn 1's a tricky corner, so you really got to get through there really well.
It was really Ankrum, the youngster, Tyler Ankrum, who we spoke to. So many cars out there for Franklin Road, but that wasn't Ken Thwaites. Of course, he's racing in TA, but Lawrence is his big guy, and he is A-OK. Well, that's good news because Lawrence is still in the top 10. But Ankrum is the cause of that yellow. But Al, what I wanted you to take our audience through is what you do in this situation, because people don't often talk about the yellow situation in terms of what a racing driver does. It looks as though they're going slow and waiting to go racing again. There's far more to it than that, because there's a lot of systems checks. There's a chance to talk to the engineer. There's a chance to have some thoughts in your own head about how the car's running and how you're going to approach the next rerun.
Well, the first thing you want to do is just give the car a break. You're giving the tires a break, giving the brakes a break, and so you get to gather your thoughts here. You get to kind of reanalyze what's been going on in the last few laps, and then to think about what's going to go on once we go back to green again. But really, you want to drive. You want to stay in the groove. You don't want to get outside of the groove and have pick up on your tires or anything like that. You want to just kind of mellow out what they're doing right now, so that it gives the engine a chance to cool down, the water, the oil, your brakes cool down, all that. So,
all right, well, let me ask you a next question, because I've just heard we're going to go green on the next lap. How do you take advantage of the restart? Because in racing, you don't get these opportunities too often, and it's a great opportunity to make some places.
Absolutely. What you're going to be doing now is looking at the 2 cars in front of you, okay? So you've got that 1 car in front of you. You're looking at the other 2 guys in front of them and kind of seeing what they're going to do. So as we come around for the restart, you're going to see what they do. You're not really paying attention to the guy in front of you. You're paying attention to the 2 cars in front of him and see what they do, and then how the car in front of you is going to react, and then you go up there and make your move.
You're listening to Al Unser Jr., multiple Indy 500 and IndyCar champion, and now looking after youngsters here in the FR and F4 championships. Delighted to have him on board this weekend. And he knows a fair bit about racing stock cars. He's done the IROC
Making sure
championship.
You're in the right gear right now. Pace car is pulled off. You're ready for a green.
Here we go then. We're about to get underway. The safety car comes in. Conor Mosak leads the field. Thomas Merrill just set the fastest lap at a 126.3 before we went yellow, and away we go. Rafa Matos in 3rd place. Will try to defend, but Brent Cruz is through. He's made it through on Guy Cosmo. Nicely done by Cruz.
He got 2 cars on that restart, didn't he? Yeah.
Because he was, Andretti was trying to get ahead of him, and he said, no, thank you, and then got Carl Cosmo on the inside. Not easy. That's not the race line.
No, he was looking at the cars in front, seeing what they're going to do when the hole opened. He was ready and there.
So Andretti now behind his teammate Cosmo, and Brent Cruz has made up a place. Just saw Tyler Casera trying to make his way around the outside of the keyhole. Casera currently chasing Slater in 12th position, an important race for him. And there's Cruz. Nitro Motorsports. A karting phenom in his time, won the World Championship and many American titles, and jumped onto the scene at the beginning of the season and has never looked back, and has been a thorn in many a racer's side since he started racing here at Trans Am, and we're delighted to have him on board. How long we can keep him in Trans Am, I don't know, because he is such a great racer already at, 15 years of age?
So now you just had a restart. You're gathering your thoughts again. You're being reminded of yourself. We're only on a lap 11 out of 45. So I got still a long race in front of me. I made some spots. Let's just maintain now. And as the race unfolds, it comes to you. That's what you're really putting yourself in position for.
And now with these single-seaters, you're now effectively a race engineer. What do you tell a racing driver? You don't want too much information. Some guys like to talk, some guys don't. But what's helpful when you're racing?
I try to answer the questions that they have out there, and other than that, I try to leave them alone. Like our young kids, too much talking to them distracts them too much. So I just let them go, let them do their thing. If they ask a question, try to answer it, and really that's about it.
Well, we just heard that Evan Slater might be trying a little bit of FR racing himself, turning into single-seaters. So that's the big news story out of today. But Evan Slater, more importantly, is now looking to try and win the Rookie Championship. There's Teixeira, and behind him is Picor, who's had a great qualifying, probably his best here in Trans Am. 12 of the 45 laps gone. More work to do for the likes of Baku and Prochuk. Archer with work to do. Dylan Archer.
Now, see, the guys in the back, I'm talking about the lead group when I talk about staying calm and running it, The guys in the back, they're trying to get up front.
Yep.
So there's nothing calm about them. They're from what, 15th on back.
Oh,
they're
no, we're on board with Evan Slater, who
go.
gets nipped from behind. That, to me, looked nothing to do with him, but he got a nip from behind, I think, didn't he?
He did. That's what it looked like. Yep.
He got a little bit of the old Paul Tracy chrome horn there, I think.
The guys in the back, man, they're fighting hard. You betcha.
Well, we were on board with Evan Slater when it happened. I don't know how we managed to pull that off, but that was pretty impressive. But Evan Slater gave you a bird's eye view, a cracking view of just what it's like to get spun round in a Trans Am race. But the race continues, and he continues as well. On board with Adam Andretti. He's got Guy Cosmo behind him, and it looks as though we've got one retirement coming into the pit lane. We'll find out if we can from Ben Sissel. And I know my man Garcia will be on this, but we've got one car coming into the pits. No scheduled pits. Let's take a look. Al, see what you see when you see what happened to Evan Slater.
Yeah, since we were on board with him, it's hard to really know, because he just got taken out by the kite behind him.
That's what I think.
Yep.
He was
in a
going fine,
traffic jam, and the car behind him lost patience, like what I was talking about, and they went up in there. See, they're fighting hard here. Yep, there it is. Yep,
there it is.
Got hit on his right rear.
Oh, well, that's what happens. That's racing, as they say.
Yep.
And look at how close they are in the lead. This is brilliant racing. And already it looks as though Cosmo may well have got by Brent Cruz again.
Yep.
So
Brent
Cruz is having a
spot.
real battle with the three-dimensional boys. 13th lap, but who's going to get lucky, I wonder? Brent Cruz in a real battle. Cosmo's got past him again, and he's up to 4th place. Cruz down to 5th now, and Andretti's right behind him. Scott Borchetta making a move on Andretti. They're good friends, but not when it comes to racing. He said before the race, I'd get a few tips from Andretti. Well, Andretti will be regretting that now. Yep, he's right there. Scott Borchetta and Adam Andretti.
Scott's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
super proud of him.
Yeah, this is one of the best races he's run. He dislikes this Mid-Ohio. It seems to suit certain guys. I'm not sure what it is about Mid-Ohio. Board with Andretti as he tries. Where can you make time up here at Mid-Ohio?
Anywhere you can, simply put. Just, it's such a challenge, the whole place, with, like I said, the elevation changes, all that kind of stuff. So anywhere you can, especially on race day.
Right.
When race day comes and you get that traffic in there, you're chasing every hole that you can get into. Yep.
Kurt Voigt is the driver that got into the pits. He's up on the jacks on the left-hand side, so he's not going anywhere quickly. Here's another replay. And that was Cosmo at turn 4. Nicely done on Brent Cruz. And that's a classic overtake here. And it looks as though Andretti was thinking about doing the same thing. So, back on board with Guy Cosmo. And you can see from the onboard the speed he's going. He's going 125 coming up to the keyhole, 135 in fact, before he breaks down to the big machine spike coolers keyhole.
These cars
and the key
run
is
good.
getting out of here, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That determines your whole straightaway speed down at the end, and so you got to come off that keyhole especially well.
Well, he made a great move here at turn 4. I hadn't realized until I walked down there early in the weekend just how cambered that is. We saw an outside move around here. You can do it. But I've also seen moves in IndyCar as they come down towards the S's on this. You see the left-hander here? If you get it right, you can actually get up the outside of here and come around, but it's a risky move.
It's high risk right in that area, I tell you, but that turn 5 getting down in there, that's one of the premier passive places here.
Mosak, Merrill, and Matos. That's your top 3. Cruz battling with Cosmo for 4th. It's been a cracking battle too. Back on board now with the Franklin Road Apparel Cameron Lawrence car. I was worried that it was he that went out earlier, but of course it wasn't. Luckily, it was the youngster who's trying his first time out for the Franklin Road Apparel team. So Ken Thwaites drew in, I'm sure, a deep breath as he watches on the pit lane. And look at this battle. Tyler Casera around the outside again. Oh, they touch! And that's a real battle there between Cameron Lawrence and Tyler Casera. Casera getting on the outside, almost going off. But that was a big moment there in that replay. So Tyler Casera definitely in the wars. But Lawrence won that battle. And now Tyler Casera will build again. Casera in 9th. Lawrence was in 10th, but now is ahead of him. Goikhberg's just behind. And we go on board with Lawrence. Wow, we're getting some great racing here. And it's right through the field too. There's nothing splitting the top 3. And as we look at this top 10 battle for Cameron Lawrence, he's right in the thick of it too. Now, Brent Cruz all over Rafa Matos. Now, this is really interesting. I remember talking to Brent Cruz, and he said the one guy he really wanted to race against, remember, Rafa Matos in his 30s, accomplished, Rookie of the Year in IndyCar, Rookie of the Year in Indy Lights. But Brent Cruz wants a piece of Rafa. He wants to race Rafa whenever he can.
Especially
now he's got the chance.
The defending champion, his proven winner. He wants to. He's especially after that guy. He's hunting him big.
Yep. So Rafa will know that, because I remember being in his pits when one of his mechanics said, "Oh yeah, Brent Cruz wants to take you on." And this was at Laguna Seca a few rounds ago, and he went, "Who is he? Who is he? How would you know about him?" But now he knows about him.
Now he knows. That's right.
This is great. And now we've got a slight gap too between Merrill and Mosak at the front, and then 3rd place battle here. So you can start to see the gaps. And Cosmo is the reinforcement. He's coming.
Yep, their tires are starting to go off now. So now is when the true handling of the car is going to start appearing, and that's why you're starting to see the gap form.
How close do you have to be able to get a draft effect, do you think?
You need to be right up their tail.
Okay.
You need to be right up their tail coming off that corner and use that. It's just not long enough to have a massive draft.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you need to be on them and within a car length at the most, so that you can get, as soon as you get through the kink on the backstretch, you can go in beside them and outbrake them into 5.
Well, this is a really good battle too, Casera and Picor. Tyler Casera, the former Miata champion, and he was saying that, interestingly enough, I don't know if you'd agree, but he was saying that the Miata is all about momentum racing, because all the cars are spec the same. He said you're used to racing at close quarters, and you're used to not losing momentum, and that is true of this kind of racing too in Trans Am.
Absolutely. I mean, the cars are so equal. It's so competitive. You need to be on your game all the way around. The crews too, in preparation of the cars. Yeah, they're looking good. Everybody's looking good. Again, like I said, the tires are starting to go off. They're really starting to really adapt to their car now because of the tires starting to go away. You got to change the way you enter the corner, the way you go through the corner, the way you exit the corner in order to take care of the tires so that you've got some grip out there.
Yeah, and you know what? As we see these gaps starting to form, certainly the leaders, Connor Mosak just did the fastest lap of the race. Brent Cruz has just beaten that with a 26.1, but all the top 4 now starting to go quicker and quicker. Thomas Merrill has gone with the leaders, so we're starting to get a gap at the front between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd now. And if anything, Rafa Matos is stuck with fighting Brent Cruz. And he's losing a little bit of ground now to Thomas Merrill, who just did a 26.2, his fastest lap. And just before that, Conor Mosak put his fastest lap in at 26.2. But the fastest man on track at the moment, Brent Cruz in the 70.
Yeah, like I said, Mid-Ohio is a rhythm racetrack, and they're really starting to get in their rhythms right now.
Yep.
And also, the fuel load is going down, so the car's getting lighter and lighter.
And does it handle less? Oh, no! Oh, that is bad news. Doug Peterson, the team leader, if you will, and the team owner for the three-dimensional services, is trying to back himself out of the gravel trap, but it's a big old gravel trap. He's almost beached it, but he's got all the experience of being a multiple champion in this sport. But, no. Doug is stuck, but now he's trying again. He's doing the smart thing, isn't he?
Look at the radiator. That car's getting hot.
Yeah. Will he get out of there? There's no other way, is there?
I think he's
got
done.
a ton. You can't go forward there. You're going to just beach it.
As long as he's still moving, he's got a shot.
He's got a shot, and he is doing. What a smart move!
Look at this.
Well, that's experience for you, Doug. Well, Doug Peterson likes his beaches, and he knows how to ride them. He got stuck in Bora Bora a couple of years ago. Now he's stuck in Mid-Ohio.
He's getting deeper and deeper. That looks like it's off at turn 5 at the end of the backstretch.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that's going to bring out a full course safety, which he's going to be thinking, I got to get out of here because my 3 guys are at the front. Boom! Yellow flag. Yellow car. The pace car will be out.
So now he loses a lap. That's all he's thinking about. I tried to get out of here without losing a lap.
Yep.
The only thing I could do is go downhill. I couldn't go uphill.
I just saw a quick glimpse of another car that's coming. That's Aaron Pettipas, who, of course, is the Canadian who came and joined us last time out. And he's just pulled into the pits. We'll try and find out what happened to him. But now we go back to that procedure. And Al, you were in the throes of describing some of the things that you're thinking about. And there's more to talk about in this instance.
They're just calming everything down right now. You really want to pay attention that you stay in the groove. You stay in the clean part of the racetrack right now. Be easy on your brakes and just let everything calm down, let everything settle down. And what I'm talking about settling down, I mean the water temp, the oil temp, the brake temp. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about settling down.
Well, you're listening to Al Unser Jr., Jonathan Green, bringing you all the action of the TA2 from Mid-Ohio. Great racing so far. We're going to take a short break from Mid-Ohio, and we'll be back. You won't miss a thing.
Speed, endurance, desire. For 160 years, Motul has helped engines and drivers go faster, further, and stronger. Tested in the heat of battle, driven with passion, with one aim: to give you superior powertrain protection and performance. Motul.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. We're in the caution after, sadly, Rafa Matos' team owner, Doug Peterson, has gone off into the gravel and got stuck. He did a valiant job of trying to get out. He did the smart thing, which not many racing drivers think of, which is to use reverse, because if you try to use drive, you just get stuck lower, whereas in reverse, you've got a chance of at least going against the grain of the gravel and getting out quicker. Now, Kevin Allen is the crew chief for Doug Peterson, and I know that Ben Sissel is down in the pits. Let's see if we can head down there and get a word with his crew chief. Down to you, Ben.
Here I am with Kevin Allen, Doug Peterson's crew chief. What did he say to you over the radio to end up in China Beach like that?
Well, he said that he might have gotten some help from the car behind him. He wasn't exactly sure, but that he just got lost and got stuck in there. Almost got out, but couldn't quite make it. So...
yeah, we saw him hard on the gas trying to get out, but it is deep out there.
It's deep, yeah. It's a rough spot to be, no doubt, yeah.
And then we got reports that maybe the 88 touched the wall somewhere. Have you heard that?
I didn't catch that. Nope, sorry.
All right. And how are the other three-dimensional services group team members doing?
I think we're doing pretty well, yeah. I mean, guys talked a little bit about maybe his engine's a bit soft, but I think we're okay. I think we're doing good.
All right, well, I'm going to go to Al Unser Jr., our resident expert. What does a soft engine mean, Al?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Al's just taking a toilet break, so we'll get his opinion on that. But yeah, a soft engine. I'll keep it in mind, and I'll ask him. Don't you worry about that. We're looking at Guy Cosmo at the moment as we're under caution here at Mid-Ohio. Scintillating start to this one. What a cracker so far, and we've got a long way to go yet. We're under caution, and everybody, as you can see, there's how far that gravel trap is. It's a massive gravel trap. Big gravel trap. So Doug Peterson stuck in the gravel here at Mid-Ohio. Look at the rope they've got to get him out of there. Going to have to drag him along for 100 feet or so. And that is at the exit of turn 4, I think. And it wouldn't surprise me if he got a little helping hand to get in there, because it is a breaking point. And I'm glad to say the weather we expected at some point in the day has not yet come to fruition. So it looks as though we're going to stay dry. But look at this wonderful sight. A big crowd here. You can't see many of them because they're all in the woods in their RVs. And Barry Bowes having the ASIO data on board this weekend. Delighted to have him and delighted to be on board with him, given that this is his best qualifying of the season, if not over the last 2 seasons. Him and Elias Anderson have come from SCCA and came together into Trans Am, and they work together, work out of the same pits. They're not official teammates, but they kind of work as a team. But it's a small car effort, a family effort, if you will. Now, Thomas Merrill obviously is the man wanting to win this race desperately in terms of the championship. So let's go down a bit.
So I'm with Travis Cope, owner of Cope Racing Team, Mike Cope's son, who's talking to Thomas Merrill, Thomas Merrill's crew chief. Thomas currently in second. What's he saying? He seems to be in kind of a relaxed stance right now.
Yeah, we're kind of biding our time right now, letting the car come to us and seeing what happens with Connor and trying to wait it out and see if he can come back to us. We got a little damage on the right rear from the 88 car. It hurting our exit a little bit, but I still think we'll be better than 28 at the end of the race. Thomas just came off the podium at Le Mans. He's at the top of his game right now, so I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah, and Thomas being kind of an endurance driver and sprint car racer, he's in good shape here. He won here, I think, in 2020, so he sounds pretty passionate, or is he pretty calm on the radio?
He's calm, but he's always calm. He shows excitement on the racetrack, but over the radio, he's always calm and collected.
All right, Travis Cope, Thomas Merrill, good luck. You heard it here.
Yeah, I just want to pick up on that. So this is the quality of driver. Thomas Merrill on the podium at the famous 24 Hours of Le Mans. And I've got a 24-hour winner here from Daytona, Al Unser Jr. And we just got a question for you. What is a soft engine?
It's an engine that is getting tired. Okay. It's slowing down. It's lost that knife edge, performance.
Gotcha.
And so it's just off, maybe 2-3% of what it was at the beginning of the race.
Now, I know the answer to my own question, but I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there. I picked up on what the engineer was saying. He said, we're just waiting for the car to come to us. Now, explain that to some of the people who may be coming to racing for the first time.
It's mainly the fuel load, because that's truly the only thing that's really changing in the car other than the actual tires. Okay, so you may start with the tanks in the rear of the car. You may start the race on a full tank. The car will be a little loose, the back end sliding out. As the fuel load starts coming down, it'll start balancing itself out where it'll tighten up the back end without that fuel being back there.
And also, when he says the car to come to us, he's also referring to the fact that it kind of hits a sweet spot, if you will. And that's why we're starting to see some really good fastest laps as well.
Correct. It's the balance of the car. It's the front end gripping with the rear end. That's what it's all about.
All right, we're getting a good schooling here from one of the greats. Great to have Al Unser Jr. looking after some of the juniors. Who are you looking after this year? It's Castro?
We got Andre Castro. Was our first his first time here with us. He did a fantastic job. He ran third yesterday, and so him and Matt Clark is in our FR car.
I like that kid.
Matt Clark
Canadian,
from Canada. Yeah, he's really special. We're looking at him. And from the performance of Andre Castro this weekend, is the first time with the team. He's done a fantastic job. So we've got 2 superstars, future stars, Future Star Racing.
You know, we got a great future. We got a star in the race director. I don't know if you ever heard of him. A guy called Scott Goodyear.
Yeah.
You ever raced him?
Once or twice. Yeah,
I have to bring it up.
Scotty does
look
a
up
great
your history
job.
books, folks. The closest finish ever in the Indy 500 was Al Unser Jr. and Scott Goodyear, who's upstairs right now.
Yeah, Scott, he always gives me a hard time.
I bet he does. I would.
Yeah. So
inches. But you guys are good mates now, I know, and it's great to have people like yourselves on board looking after these youngsters.
Yeah, because we're still the closest finish at the 500. We've become better and better and better friends.
That's great.
It's been a real God thing. It's been truly good.
Do you still follow current Indy? Do you watch it closely?
Absolutely.
I
love racing.
Who impresses you?
Of course, Colton Herta.
Yeah.
Right away. Pato O'Ward. He's the next one. Those 2 guys are the future stars of IndyCar racing. Joseph Newgarden is just, in his prime right now and doing a great job. Of course, the elder Scott Dixon is one of my most favorites. I mean, he truly is rewriting the record book in all of IndyCar history.
He could actually challenge A.J. Foyt's record.
Absolutely. He's in great physical shape, great mental shape. He's tough to beat week in and week out.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's go back to, again, the restart, because we only just touched on it. Let's say your Guy Cosmo, or more importantly, Rafa Matos in third with Brent Cruz behind him. How do you go about both defending and getting aggressive?
You're just trying to make the moves going forward, okay? So especially on these restarts, like what we're going to be coming up on, all you're thinking about is what's in front of you, So if you can get the guy in front of you, then you're not defending anything. Okay, so that's what it's all about. The only one who's defending anything is the leader.
Yeah, good point.
The leader is the only one checking out his mirror, seeing what's going on behind him. Other than that, it's all about passing.
Yeah, and there's no question that the Scott Legacy Racing, Nick Taylor sponsored M1 race car of Conor Mosack at the wheel, the 23-year-old has been ice cool when it comes to this sort of thing. He's only a kid, mind you, just 23 years of age, but already an accomplished racing driver and will be taking the pressure nicely. He's got Thomas Merrill behind him, Rafa Matos in third, Brent Cruz, the fastest man so far with that 1:26.1. Then it's Guy Cosmo, Scott Borchetta in the top 6, Adam Andretti 7th, Goikhberg in 8th position, Cameron Lawrence 9th, Tyler Casera also vying for the championship in 10th. Then the Toyota junior driver, Corey Heim, getting some practice for when he comes back here for NASCAR in 11th place, but also a regular in Trans Am. Delighted to have him. Evan Pecor in 12th. Lostowski 13th. Barry Bowes 14th. Elias Anderson is mate in 15th. That's the top 15 at the moment. They're still getting Doug Peterson's car out of harm's way.
Yeah, seeing that, that was just a death trap down there. A death trap sandbox is what that is. And so since we're under yellow here, I got a text from my wife, Norma. She wants me to say hello to her, so I'm going to say hello to her right now.
That's about the most important thing you've said all day. Let's head down to the pits because Ben Sissel has got Conor Mosack's engineer. Let's hear what's happening with Conor.
Hey, I'm with Mike with Conor Mosack's team, M1 Race Cars, Team SLR. What's Conor saying on the radio?
Everything's doing great. Car's handling great. And we're out front.
Nice. So our pole position still holds first place here with M1 Race Cars, Conor Mosack at the lead, but Thomas Merrill right behind him. It could get dicey here at the restart, gentlemen.
Conor Mosack, so we've got the intel there. And, of course, he's sponsored by High Point University, and that is a really good story, actually. He went to that university, he studied entrepreneurialism, and I'll tell you what, that's not a bad idea as a racing driver. I bet you never thought of that when you were racing, coming up through the ranks. Oh, I should really get an education, or shall I just hang around racing?
Yeah, no, I was all about racing, I was a professional race car driver, driving sprint cars when I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
And so
How did you get into it?
I paid the price for it too, because I'm in high school. In the morning class was world history on a Friday. They're talking about Napoleon. I'm racing sprint cars that Friday night, and I went, how is knowing about Napoleon going to help me win the race tonight?
Yeah.
And the answer
you can do it
not
one
at all. So anyway, later in life, I paid the price for it because of the business side of it and all that kind of thing. So.
Well, we're expecting green, and that's how your father and Bobby started on the dirt.
Exactly. Yep. Up at Pikes Peak.
There you go.
On the dirt.
Yep.
Which is the slickest road course that I had ever raced.
And am I right in saying Bobby was an absolute genius?
He's king of the mountain.
Yeah, king of the mountain.
Yep.
Well, we're about to go racing again. Who's going to be king of Ohio? We wonder. Who's going to be the Buckeye State's #1? Well, Connor Mosack is vying for it. Brent Cruz is also right there. This restart is going to be important, though. You can see them putting temperature into the tires. Merrill will want to spring one on Connor right from the get-go. He's got 2 three-dimensional cars right behind him and a third waiting in the wings just behind. But Ben Cruz, we go green, and already Merrill is close. Very close indeed. He eyes an overtake, possibly at the keyhole coming up. He looks already to the inside at turn 1. Could it be on? Brent Cruz goes through on Rafa. He's done it. The kid. This is really, really good stuff because Rafa Matos has just been pounced on at the restart of this by Brent Cruz. And look at this. Connor Mosack defending to the nth degree here because he just can't hold off Thomas Merrill, who's really got a run on him out of the keyhole, as has Misha Goikberg, who just gets slightly out of shape but holds it all together. Now, as we come down to turn 4, which will be the Franklin Road Apparel turn 4, is Merrill going to make the move? He's got the inside line and takes the lead. No, he doesn't. Back comes Mosack. Great racing.
Yeah,
he's taking that risky move, I told, around the outside.
Yep.
Oh!
And with those two up there fighting back and forth,
this is playing into Brent Cruz's hands.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was about to say. Yep.
Wow, what a race! Well, I said it. You said it last lap. It's a risky move around the outside, but it can be done.
It can be done. Yep. And these restarts, they're on the top of their game. This is the best opportunity to pass those first 2 laps of a restart.
How hard is it as a racing driver? And I know Rafa, he's a Brazilian. Come on, they're all... Oh, somebody's gone big time off at the carousel just out of the corner of my eye. We both saw that, so we'll keep an eye on that. But we've had a big accident at the carousel. But here comes Merrill again on the inside. He tried it last time. Yep. That's the accident, and I think it's Cameron Lawrence of the Franklin Road Apparel car has gone off. But that car, yes, it is
Hopefully
Cameron Lawrence,
get it
sadly.
Started.
And I don't think he's going anywhere, which will cause another caution. But meanwhile, at the front, it's all going on.
Cautions breed cautions.
Cautions breed cautions. They absolutely do.
They do.
Let's take a look at what happened. Al, when you see it, see what you see. Here we go. From they came together with Mish Goikberg and Lawrence came together, and he tried to get it back.
He tried to get out of there and lost it going in. So he didn't want to take out the guy in front of him.
Yeah, here we go. We'll see it. They're coming through Thunder Valley now. You get a little wiggle here from Misha, so he can see an opportunity.
And it's stacking up. See, it's stacking up, which allowed him to get up next to him right here. He left the door open,
Boom.
And he just,
Whose fault?
No one's fault. It's pretty much always the passer.
Yep.
It's always, like when you rear end somebody, it's their fault. So that's what happened here.
Oh, we've got another one in the kitty litter, sadly.
Oh, the death trap. That's where that sandbox.
There really is a big one, too, at turn 4. And that's Barry Bowes, sadly. And he was having one of the best races. But look at this. Now, Merrill leads the race. We saw that overtake at the beginning of it at turn 1 before we went back to the carousel. So Merrill, in the interim, if you will, has taken the lead of this race. Barry Bowes is stuck. He's got the door off. He's out. And that's a real shame because he was having one of the best races of his career in Trans Am. And he's parked it, sadly. The car stuck in the kitty litter. And sadly, we're under caution again. So Lawrence out. Bowes out. And we've also got a very badly damaged Evan Slater car. What was that?
Yeah.
You saw the right-hand side of the car.
That's a shame.
Flailing in the wind. Well, you came for the right race, Al, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're starting to get it. You know, what lap are we on right now? We're got to be close to half
lap
distance.
27, yeah, of the 45. So we're just passing that halfway point. Yeah.
So now it's go time. It's go time.
Put you in the seat of Rafa Matos. I was about to talk about the fact that he got overtaken at the restart there by Brent Cruz, the kid, and it's going to make him furious. He's the current champion. Yeah. He's got years of experience over the kid. But now how does he gather his? How do you tell your driver, stay calm, buddy?
Yeah, even the best in the world, they do have bad restarts. You know,
Yep.
you're off just that little bit on that one restart. I think Rafa was, and so Brent was not, and so he overtook him, and so now.
Yeah, look at the right-hand side. This side looks fine, but when you see the other side, you won't see EPEC.
That right front fender.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
that's gone.
It's gone.
But
and now it's out on the track somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. So we're on board with Evan Slater, but that shouldn't affect him too much. It's not a part of the car that really overly affects the aerodynamics.
No, he's going to be all right. It's still going to perform really well. And then Rafa's going, okay, I was asleep on that start. I'm not going to be asleep on this next start.
Oh, yeah, you don't bite Rafa twice.
That's right.
He'll be mad.
That's right.
I know Rafa well enough.
Yep. Me too. Yep, there's that fender out on the
there you see it. Yeah, they're all avoiding it.
Yep.
So it's come off on the main straight just by our commentary position, actually. So Evan Slater, an important race to keep finishing as well, because he's leading at the moment in the rookies, and he's also leading in the young guns. We've got a special competition. We had something like 11, 12 young guns all vying for some $20,000 from the Peter Gregg Foundation. So that's no mean feat. That's a handy bit of money there.
Yes,
and
it
so
is.
Evan Slater is looking at that. Pretty much, you know. Let's not beat about the bush. It doesn't matter what your name is. When you're starting out in racing, it's all about trying to make as much money as you can so you can keep going.
That's right. That's what it's all about. I mean, that's what sponsors are all about. That's why it's become so important to not be just a good race car driver, but you have to be a great spokesman for the company that's sponsoring the car, because they're including you as their front man. So it's most important for the sponsor, for the driver, to do really well outside of the car for the sponsor.
Let's head down to Ben Sissel. He is with Evan Slater's crew, so we'll find out the latest from them and how the car is. Black. So we have just been told that there is a black flag out, which will give us a delay while we clean up all the mess that's been going on. We've got Cameron Lawrence being towed away. We've got Barry Bowes in the thing. We've also got that debris. But Al, I want to draw your attention to this particular maneuver. And this will see Barry Bowes going off here, I think, going down the back straight. So get ready for this, because he's going to go into the gravel. But let's see it for the first time. We didn't see him actually go on.
Right. We were talking about the one that was in the car.
Wow. So he got hit from behind.
He got hit from behind.
And it's probably Evan Slater, by my estimation.
Could be, with his right front fender being gone. It could have been.
That makes a lot of sense.
Could have caught Evan off on surprise when he got out of the throttle. Yep.
Let's join Ben now in the pit lane as they come in for a black flag situation, which means they all come back in single file and they will stop the race, basically, for now.
Hey, I'm with Nick Middleton of Cube 3 talking to Evan Slater. You've had a little bit of bad luck today.
Yes, we have. A little bit unfortunate. Got a bit of a shunt, spun out. Took him down to currently in 17th, but doing really well. He's fighting back. He's faster than most people in front of him, so we'll claw it back. You have a tendency to come to me when we have some incidents with Evan.
I do, but you know what, I got to say, Cube 3, Nick, you seem to be one of our sponsors and marketing partners that is the most into this, as Evan parks right in front of us.
Yeah, very much so. I'm all about young drivers, being fully supportive of Evan. This is a huge opportunity for a sponsor to be seen nationally as well on this tracks around the country. So it's been an awesome opportunity, and hopefully we'll be back again to do it next year.
Nice.
But Evan is doing awesome. Thank you.
All right, well, stay with me, guys, because we're going to show you this. That was Nick Middleton here with Evan Slater. We're looking at Evan Slater's car, but as you can see right now, Tony's getting great shots. They're getting the grass off of the front of the cars. The reason why is because the grass is going to block the airflow into the radiator, cooling the engines. And if these engines get too hot, as you know, they will overheat, and we don't want anybody overheating. So right now, it's only the officials, per the rules, are allowed to touch the cars. The crews are not allowed to touch the cars unless they go into their pit box. Race control did allow Trans Am officials to come out here and come out and brush off. We're looking for car 0. I've heard that car 0 has a lot of damage. I'm not seeing that. But you can see that the Trans Am crew, here's Eric coming through here, and Jeff, we've got people coming out and brushing off the grass. But gentlemen, I'm going to give it back to you as we see the back end of Tom Sheehan's car super dirty.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that the Trans Am officials went out there and cleaned all the grass off of the front of all the cars. So, you know, it helps their cooling. It's going to save a pit stop. And you see
the damage,
that, yeah, you see that damage there on Evan's car. So
I like Nick. He drew attention to the fact that we're always talking to him when Evan has a problem. But now you see it close up. Tony Garcia, my main man. Now
it came from the front
What
end.
do you think? Is there any problem for the radiators here, though?
No, not at all. The only problem there is possibly the air,
right,
putting it against the tire
and the bodywork on the tire.
Yeah,
but can they pull that away?
Not right now. You're under red.
Gotcha.
Not right now, so he'll probably have to come in and make a pit stop.
That's a good point.
We'll see what happens. If he starts seeing some smoke coming off of there, then yeah.
So a little bit of body work for the young Evan Slater. And this is never easy for a youngster, too, because you don't need a distraction like that with the bodywork of the car and then having to discuss it and so on and so forth.
Kind of damage. You don't want any kind of damage. It's a distraction.
And here's Rafa. That's a side he does not want to see, which is that man in front of him.
Yeah.
Little whippersnapper.
Yeah. Rafa, he's chomping at the bit right now to get going and have this next restart to get that position
Tyler
back.
Ankrum, who of course was involved in that earlier incident in the number 4, but his car actually has got a bit of rubbing and racing, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Look, rear fender's taken a bit of a beating
too bad.
too.
That's
Again,
not bad.
it's not going to do any harm, is it?
Nope. As long as it stays there, everything will be all right.
Yeah, that's a good question. When would us now look here? This is what you were talking about. See these metal things? They put these on here to try to stop. Also, they let change sometimes. Try to get the grass.
Those are supports for the air
Splitter,
dam for the splitter on the front. Yeah, that's what that does, is give that some support to help the downforce.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's Patapas, who had come in and done a pit stop already. But they are just basically vacuuming the grass away from the Trans-Am. There's a good reason for that. Here at Mid-Ohio, you can see the lush grass, but when you get it in your radiator, it can easily heat up your engine.
It's good the Trans Am officials are doing this. I applaud them for doing this.
Yeah, good for them. Little wipe from Adam Andretti. Getting a bit of a clean-up. You can see how bad. Now, Dylan Archer is one man we've been watching. He's had a torrid weekend. Ben Sissel is down with him. Let's go down there.
Hey, I'm with Dylan Archer, and as you can see, Tony was giving great shots of some front-end damage. Dylan, what's it like out there? Looks like maybe somebody's gotten into you or you've gotten into them.
Yeah, it's a little bit of mayhem out there. I don't really want to say what happened without looking at the footage and everything, but definitely an incident that we didn't want to happen, and now we just got to battle back to the front.
Nice. Little confidence there, battle back to the front. As we move up, you can see the damage here. And very intelligently, Dylan says he doesn't want to say anything about what happened there until they can review the footage. We saw Kurt Vogt come in earlier with some rear-end mechanical damage. Looked like they were looking at the differential or the axles. We've got Bruce Raymond here. I did hear that Race Control has cleared the crews to come over here and actually touch the cars. Only one crew member can cross. Ty Young is doing really well out there. Ty, nice job. We're going to come up here, talk to Michelle Abadi, see what she thinks about Mid-Ohio. Her car, her beautiful Ghost car, looks pretty good. Michelle Abadi, what's it like out there at Mid-Ohio?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's a lot going on. I started way in the back and feeling pretty good out there. It's my first time here and just happy to be a part of such a talented field. This has really been great.
Nice. Michelle Abadi here at Mid-Ohio. Then Eric Norris. Eric Norris's car looks really good. Nice job. First time in TA2, and his car looks pretty clean, and that says a lot here at Mid-Ohio. But we look here, there's some oil coming out. I think this is coming out of Tom Sheehan. Tom Sheehan, I don't know, Ironman Tom Sheehan, it looks like you got a lot of oil on the rear end. Do you know what that's about?
Yeah, the Dairy Queen car in front of me was just putting it down bad and just spraying up all over everybody's bumpers. He went off, and track's getting a lot better.
Nice. So is it slick out there, Tom? I know you've done this track many times with us.
Yeah, it's typical Mid-Ohio. Not too bad. Pretty decent grip, but just it changes over the course of the race, cloud cover, whatnot. But no, we're setting a pretty good sail, and just had a little trouble coming up. Got into that oil, quick spin, got it going again, and we'll just have to keep digging.
Nice. Tom Sheehan says it's a little bit slick out there. Lots of oil. Darren Mock in this beautiful car, racing in memory of Gavin Cox. Getting some water as we go. We talked to Evan Slater's crew. Here, Evan, you've had some bad luck this race. Can you hear me? Tell me about the race so far.
Yeah, we were racing hard. We had some contact. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I have to look at the video before I make any comments on that. But yeah, close racing, and now we got some work to do to move up through the field.
Well, if you're taking notes, it seems like our young guns have really know what they're doing and how to answer these questions, not giving us too much information until they can review. Keith Prochuk doing well here. Get a little thumbs up from him. Rhett Barco's car looks good. We'll keep walking up. Elias Anderson up in the field. Elias, what's it like out there as you put your glasses back on?
It's a little bit treacherous out there. There's quite a bit of debris on the track from cars going off and bringing loose stuff back on, and it's been a wild ride so far, I'll tell you that.
Man, I'm sorry, Elias. I keep calling you Elias. It's Elias Anderson. Adrian Lostowski, and here you can see the crew just wiping everything down, which means it's getting dirty out there. There must be some oil somewhere out on the track. As we look at Adrian Lostowski, I can hear the electric fans going in the cars, but other than that, they're shut down. He's got a timer here on his dash showing see that? It's at 917, 918, showing how long he's been sitting here. Evan Pecor doing really well. We're going to talk to Tyler Casera, because I heard reports from race control that Tyler Casera was getting bumped around a little bit by one of the cars. Tyler, do you feel like you were getting hit out there?
What's that?
I heard a report that you were getting bumped around out there by one of the cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rough out there. We're obviously kind of in the kill zone here, running 10th. Yeah, just trying to survive, really. I mean, I think we're quicker than the 5 or 6 cars ahead of us, so it's just so hard to pass anybody who's anywhere close to the same speed. So the restarts are interesting. We're trying to make the most of those. We'll see what we got on the restart here.
Nice. Tyler Casera, he thinks the 77 car is really fast, but he's got to get around some of these drivers up here. Corey Heim, kind of new to the Trans Am series. He's been with us 2 or 3 times, runs in the NASCAR series. Corey, what's it like out there?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me so far. It's a learning experience. Like, I'm here in 2 weeks with the Truck Series, so I kind of put myself behind in qualifying, qualified 16th. This Nitro Motorsports car has been great all day, so if we qualified a little bit better, I think we'd be racing maybe hopefully right outside the top 5, right inside the top 5, but overall just having a blast out here.
Now, Corey, how does this TA2 car compare to the Toyota you'll be in 2 weeks?
Honestly, it's really not that much different. I think these have a good bit more downforce, so you can kind of attack corners a little bit more aggressively. It's not as heavy, so it's a little bit different, but I think it's the closest thing to a NASCAR, vehicle, and you can't really test those nowadays, so this is the best thing that's closest to it.
Nice. Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The closest thing to a NASCAR stock car and they're not allowed to test a lot of those, so that you can get a lot of good seat time if you're trying to make it in stock car racing. But a man that's made it in every kind of racing, Misha Goikberg, seems like you're in a position that you like to be in near the end of these races. How's it feel at Mid-Ohio, Misha?
Oh, it feels great. I just can't wait to go back racing. I think we got a decent car for the end, so hopefully last 10 laps will come on strong and try to shoot for the podium.
Nice. Try to get up on the podium. That's going to be a tall order here because you've got Adam Andretti in front of Misha. We're going to talk to Adam Andretti. Adam, you know Mid-Ohio really well. What are the conditions like on track?
Track conditions are actually pretty good. I mean, we've had, a few offs here and there, so you get a little bit of, some John Deere sponsorship, I guess, is trying to be picked up out there. But there's some grass on, but other than that, the track surface is really good. We got good grip, and I just like to, I think we all would like to get racing there a little bit, and have a little bit long of a run. But, I commend Trans Am for bringing us to a stop and stopping the clock, so hopefully we can get this whole thing in for the fans.
Nice. Well, I notice a lot of grass inside Adam's car, so it's coming from somewhere. I'm coming up to talk to Scott Borchetta in his Big Machine Vodka Spike Cooler. Scott, you've made a lot of really good passes out there. You're having some water. What are the conditions like to you?
Well, it's a normal hot day here at Mid-Ohio, and trying to keep the tires on it, keep the brakes on it, and see if we can come home with a good finish.
Nice. See if we can come home with a good finish. You'll notice that when we did the fan walk, he didn't have a wiper on, and they've put the wiper on. So I don't know if their crew and Dylan Hellman is seeing something we don't know about, but the clouds are getting darker, so it looks like they're prepared for just about anything. Guy Cosmo, man, impressive. First time in TA2, longtime GT driver. How's your shoulder with that standard 8 shifting, Guy?
I could tell you that I'm tough as nails, but I got to tell you, it hurts. I'm hanging in there. I'm having a blast. I almost chucked this thing a couple times, managed to keep it underneath me. Was a little impressed with myself, got to tell you. That's some car control right there. But these guys are racing hard, but they're racing clean. It's really fun. It's a shame that some of these guys got knocked out, especially our boss, Doug Peterson. But, it's game on, man. Once we go back green, I'm ready to get up to that front of that field.
Nice. I love it. And how about the honesty from Guy Cosmo, one of the best names in racing, out there telling us like it is. Now let's go to two-time winner at Mid-Ohio, Indy Lights winner here at Mid-Ohio. He's got his gloves off. Rafa, how's it feeling out there?
Everything feels pretty sleek at the moment. There's a lot of grass all over the place, so we have to be careful not running over the grass and overheating the engines. But right now I'm playing safe. I don't think we have the straight line speed to keep up with these guys. We're gonna try our best here, but it's looking like today is not a good day to win. Well, it's a great day to win. I don't think it's gonna be possible, but we're gonna try our best here.
Nice. And sometimes when you're working for a championship like Rafa is, you just try to get the best finish. If your car is a little bit slower, you're just trying for the best. We've got 3 minutes to restart, but I got to talk to Brent Cruz real quick. Brent Cruz, so impressive. Started out 5th, and it seems like Mission Foods turn 1. He keeps coming through and passing one of these cars. Brent, how's it feel out there?
Yeah, we got really good speed. If they can get all this stuff off the track, we're going to be a problem for everybody else. We got a really good race car. Nitro built us a fast piece, and I'm just looking forward to the rest of the race.
Nice. Well, he's looking forward to the start. We've got about 2.5 minutes till we restart. The cars are going to fire up soon, but in the High Point University, we've got Connor Mosak looking at the rear end of Thomas Merrill. He was in the lead for most of the race. He's got it out for Thomas Merrill. He's not going to give me any secrets on where he's going to pass him, but look for Thomas Merrill, Connor Mosak, Brent Cruz to really go at it there at Turn 1 and Franklin Road Apparel Turn 4. Jonathan and Al Unser Jr., I'm going to send it back to you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Ben. Excellent work and a really good insight as to how everybody's feeling. And it's interesting to see as Tony Pirelli shakes hands of all the drivers. He always does that. I'm really impressed with that and wishes them luck. But always interested to see what the drivers think. Some think it's great conditions, some think it's terrible conditions. Rafa says there's a lot of grass, some think it's slick, some say it's got grip.
Hey, I loved Brent's answer.
I told you you'd like him.
We're going to be a problem for everybody else.
Yeah, I can see. He's channeling his inner little Al, I think. But I knew you'd like him. He is just a kid, but he oozes confidence, and he's not overawed by the company he's in, and he is the fastest man out there with that 126.199.
He's a racer.
He is a pure racer.
Yep.
And funnily enough, he has done a lot of karting at that level. He also did the Chili Bowl, as I mentioned, so he is a dirt guy as well.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it.
Did it for Trackhouse Racing, of course, one of the NASCAR teams, which Justin Marks runs, and he's been running with us before now. And
we're pulling away.
Here we go.
Yep.
Now, what kind of car condition will they be in now when they've cooled right down like this? 20-minute gap between...
It won't be changed at all. Everything is as... If anything, there was a heat soak issue, which would maybe have them a hard time firing up. But as long as everybody fires up, which it appears that they have, then it's going to be all good. So
I saw you light up when Scott Borchetta was interviewed because he said all the right things, right?
He did. Taking care of his tires, taking care of his brakes. We'll save it for the end.
There you go.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. It's a 100-mile race, this, and it really is duopoly between a sprint race and an endurance race because these guys are on the limit. They're setting lap records lap after lap, and yet they've got to make it 100 full miles. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Anything around 60 minutes, 45 minutes, that's a sprint race. Half an hour, sprint race. But when you get a little bit beyond that,
that's right.
That's pushing the mechanics of the car.
You've got to save your equipment. You truly do. Yep.
That was what always impressed me with Ernie Francis Jr. It didn't matter what he had underneath him, or if he had a problem, he would drive around it. But that's how you win 7 titles at the age he did, was to be able to nurture it. And I think he's a mechanic at heart. He mechanics all the cars, and I think that was one of his pluses.
Yeah, you're not so much nurturing or being kind to anything. You're taking care of your equipment. So they're race cars, and you go out there and you drive them as race cars. So you use the equipment. You don't abuse the equipment, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you have a race car or a Honda Civic. I know a couple of people who drive a Honda Civic like it's a race car.
Yeah. So. and they don't last long that way.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
And they tend to have a few dents in them on the right-hand side. And that's Jim Gallagher being dragged away. A horrible sound of the car. And it looks like there'll be one more formation lap to get everybody up to speed.
Yeah, that's
Again,
what
that's David Hoots being sensible.
Yeah, I was paying attention if they were going to go green first time by. They are not. The field is just too spread out there at the back end of it. See, they're still now just trying to catch up to the pack. So there'll be one more lap before they go green.
Got to ask you about Conor Mosak because he has been just overtaken, as has Rafa Matos just before we stopped. So both of them need to pounce. We're very, very close to the last 10 laps here. Before we know it, we're going to be sprinting towards the end.
Absolutely. They're looking at this restart as their best opportunity to make some moves.
All right. Well, this has been a fascinating day. Jonathan Green and Al Unser Jr. bringing you the Trans Am TA2 race from Mid-Ohio. A cracking circuit, one on which Al has run many times and won at in IndyCar, of course. Double IROC champion, 2 times a IROC champion.
Yeah, we
so
won
you know
IROC.
a little bit about
As a matter of fact, I won an IROC race here at Mid-Ohio.
Okay, who was that up against?
Rahal runs second.
Oh, Bobby Rahal, not Graham.
Bobby Rahal runs second, and this is basically his home track.
Yes, it is.
Mid-Ohio for Bobby Rahal.
And it's Honda's home track, isn't it? Just down the road.
Yes, it is. That's
so,
right.
A really important place, and of course FR and F4 both running Honda Civic engines, hence the reason also the Honda Civic pace car. So Honda very prevalent here as we go on board with Cameron Lawrence. Boy, has he been in the wars today. And it's an important race for Cameron because he's in that fight for the championship and needs a good result out of today. He really does. Looking forward to see what he can do, see if he can come forward a little bit. Doug Peterson and out. Barry Bowes is out. Cameron Lawrence was involved in that incident. And I'm not sure if they got him going again, but he just spun on the entrance to the carousel while trying to overtake Misha Goikberg. He is one of the reasons, as is Barry Bowes, that we came to a stop, and quite rightly, they decided to clean up the track and give it a black flag for the moment. So we get ready for the restart. Coming down through Thunderhill and getting everything up to temperature. You're also going to get your race face on after that little pause. It gets hot in those cars. The pace car comes off. We come through the carousel. Merrill leads the pack. He's got to defend from Mosak, but he's not also going to have to defend from Brent Cruz, who's already side by side with the second place man, Mosak. Cruz and Mosak, the two youngsters, and Cruz is through. Look at him go, up to second already. Boy, he said right at the get-go, I'm going to be trouble for everyone else, and that's exactly what he is. Rafa Matos, though, trying to attack on Mosak. He does outbreak him into the keyhole. Will Rafa do that? Oh, back comes Mosak, back at you. Rafa, no respect for the champion. Rafa in the battle, absolutely. But, boy, we've got some good racing here.
There
is really
some great
good stuff.
racing right there. Like I said, those restarts, that's your best opportunity.
Yeah, it's the best opportunity.
And Brent was awake.
Yep, he was, totally. Look, now he's in second place behind Thomas Merrill. From Salinas, California, Thomas Merrill, one of the most experienced drivers we've got in Trans Am, and Brent Cruz is taking him wheel to wheel at the moment as we go back on board with Andretti into 6 now, through the S's. Andretti looks as though Borchetta's lost a place. As we go on board with, what, 5th place, Guy Cosmo? Ooh!
Oh, there's some damage.
That is not a very happy Liqui Moly number 77.
It's good that he's in the pits.
That's Tyler Casera.
We'll
He's
stay
going to
green.
be furious.
Yep, we'll stay
As
green.
you can see, the face says it all. Tyler was going good, and I don't know what happened to him, but he is looking just as perplexed as anybody would be. But across the line they come. Brent Cruz up to 2nd place now. Conor Mosak is the man that lost the most out, but Tyler Casera, that's a big loss to the championship there for Tyler. He's lost big points there because he was going to score well there. Onto the dirt and grass goes the 86 of Andretti. He's under pressure too. Andretti under pressure from Corey Hine, the youngster, and Scott Borchetta. Borchetta up the inside of the youngster. He sponsors a youngster in Xfinity, but he has no respect for him on track. Good for you, Scott.
That was a great move, Scott. Way to go.
Scott, we joke about Scott being out there with the youngsters looking for the next talent, seeing anybody who might want to sponsor coming in the future. But it won't be Corey Haim, he's just overtaken him. Now, here's a look at what happened to Tyler Casera. Watch the 77 here. Boom! Ah, he went straight into Misha Goikberg, who just braked. It was like a weird kind of...
They stacked up on each other.
Concertina effect, wasn't it?
Accordion effect,
Yeah, accordion.
Yep.
No wonder that the 77 of Tyler Casera is furious, because really that was nothing to do with him.
Right.
Now, back with Rafa Matos. Is he going to turn this into a classic Rafa last 10 laps? That's what we usually see. You've been saying it all day long, Al. One thing Rafa is brilliant at, he's in 4th at the moment, is that last 10 laps and going for it. Saving the car for when it's needed.
That's what champions do. They plan their whole strategy to win the race or be in the best position for points at the end of the race.
Yeah, you heard a really good interview that Ben did while they were stopped. He kind of said, I'm not sure we're in a position to win the race today, but the points are what matters. And, you know, that's a champion talking.
That's right. You take the wins when they're there, and you get the most out of it when they're not.
Borchetta's on a stripe. Look at him go. Borchetta now behind Andretti as well. There's Red Barco, the only Dodge Challenger out there, but going good. On board with Lostowski. Hawk performance on board. Beautiful sound. Best lap of 1:27.06. And as he comes through the fastest part of the circuit, just up to 160 now in traffic with Goikberg ahead.
Yeah, you can see how it kind of wiggled on him getting under braking. So this is the time of the race that the brakes are starting to go away a little bit. Definitely the tires are on their last stint. So
let's head down to the pits. Ben Sissel, it looks as though he's got Tyler Casera. Let's hear what happened.
Well, I'm with a very upset Tyler Casera in that number 77 Liqui Moly Turn 14 distribution car. Tyler, what happened out there?
I don't know. We were coming to the restart, and those guys are playing games up front. They're brake checking people, trying to slow up and create a gap for the restart. And I don't know. Misha was just dead stopped in the middle of the track. Brakes, smoke everywhere. Before he went to the right, and I was like, I just had him locked up at that point, and I had nowhere to go. So I hate it. We had such a good car there. I felt like we were going to make some progress on the restart. Huge thanks to Stevens Miller Racing, Liqui Moly Turn 14. You know, we'll try to recoup something here at Road America, but this really hurts us in the points. So, you know, and it didn't even happen, you know, racing on track. So I'm really, really upset and frustrated with those guys and the way they're taking these restarts. So
bad luck for Tyler Casera. Back to you guys.
You know, I don't know what you think, Al, but I'm with Tyler on that one. You know, when you get beaten in a race when you don't even do it on the racetrack, and that was literally they were playing games. You can't break stuff like that.
Yeah, it started up in the field. Not the top 3 guys, but the 5, 6, 7, and 8. They started doing that kind of thing, and it just gets worse as it gets back. And it's really a shame. It's like a knife in the chest right there.
Literally come to a hole in the middle of the track.
Yeah.
Oh well. Racing's racing, and he'll be back. Tyler Casera, a runner-up in the Sim Championship a couple of years ago, and a winner at VIR a couple of years ago too, but very much one of our regulars, and as he says, it ruins his hopes of really going for championship points this weekend. And on board now with Cosmo, who said he's having a ball out there. Got a bit of a shoulder problem because he's not used to driving these heavy Trans Am cars, but he'll deal with it. I think he's enjoying it. But look at this. Great battle between the top 5.
Oh, yeah. They're right with each other, and we're...
Borchetta's passed Andretti. Look at that.
Good job.
Good job, Scott.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good scout to have. Andretti, no mean feat, and knows how to get wide is Andretti, that's for sure. Good battle here. Adrian Lostowski putting some pressure on here. Lostowski, of course, has been around. He's a champion in production side of Trans Am, and then turned to TA2, and he's never looked back since he got involved, and I'm really impressed with Lostowski at the moment. He's got Picor in front of him. That's Evan Picor in the 94, in the 9th position. Slightly different line through 4.
Okay, we're officially at the 10 to go, so we've entered into the
go
zone.
Huh?
That's
go
right.
Zone.
Go zone.
Now you do say that on the radio. Okay, go zone. Oh, that's not a go zone. Misha Goldberg. Now he was the man who effectively was in the middle of that Tyler Casera incident, and he banged into the back of one of the three-dimensional services cars, and then Tyler hit him from behind. So it's no go for Misha Goldberg.
Yeah, real shame that happened when they weren't even at green flag yet.
And he's out the car and done. I'm sure the man from British Columbia in Canada, and so too the team. A nice little car they put together each and every weekend for Misha Goldberg. He does a lot of IMSA, a lot of sports car racing, Daytona. He's always at the 24 hours. And Misha, one of our regulars. Now, what's going to happen at the front? Brent Cruz has got into 2nd place. They are, at the moment, for now anyway, dropping 3rd place, Connor Mosak. And it'd be interesting to see how close Scott Borchetta can get by the end. His next victim, if you will, is Guy Cosmo. And I wonder if Scott can claim that scalp. That would be really interesting. Meanwhile, Pico... Oh, no, another big incident. Let's head down. We've got this accident. Chandler Smith is out for Nitro Motorsports of the Ford Mustang. That's a big off, but we do hear that down in the pits, Ben has got Misha Goldberg. Let's hear from him.
Well, I'm also with a very disappointed Misha Goldberg. Before even the restart, Misha, what happened out there?
I think the leaders are trying to play games on the restart, so they kind of go, then they bunch up, go, try to separate the field, I guess, and 3-4 cars back. It's an accordion effect. I had nowhere to go. Car in front of me broke really suddenly, and that's what we have to deal with. We have to rebuild it in a week and go to Road America, but the rule is that after the pace car leaves, they have to maintain same speed, and that didn't happen this time. So I don't know who did it, but that's the end result.
So we had a little bit of an accordion effect. Tony, get a shot here. Tom Sheehan can't get started in pit lane. We've got all kinds of things happening here. Full course yellow's coming out. Jonathan and Al, I'm going to send it back up to you.
Yeah, I'm afraid the race director is going to be a busy man this afternoon because I think you just heard it twice there. We've got a full course yellow as expected. Petipas is in the pits, so too Sheehan. Let's have a look at what happened to this car here because looks as though he's bounced out of the tyres. Let's have a look at it now.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm just trying to see where he's gone off. Yeah, okay. Yeah. He's got turned around by the car behind him. And that's Brett Barco, actually. Excuse me. That's a different off. So we've got plenty of incidents going on. That's Brett Barco.
It looked like...
So we've also got... No, maybe it was Smith. Well, who knows? Either way, we're under yellow.
We definitely have one car stopped out there in the grass somewhere, and it looked like the entrance of 12. Okay. So we'll see.
What a cracking finish we're going to have, though. This lap... it's going to take a lap or two. What do you think? Maybe 5-lap sprint?
Yeah, yep. It's going to be a lap or two. I can see the wrecker going out to 12 now, so it's going to be a 2 to 3 lap yellow for sure.
So that means by my calculations we'll only have, we'll probably have 5, 6 maybe laps to go.
Yep.
We always like to try to finish.
Shootout.
It's going to be an absolute shootout here in Mid-Ohio. Wow, we've had a big attrition rate. Is it hard to keep, when you have a stop, start, caution, is it hard to keep concentration? You're getting tired physically, you want to get to the end, but you've got to hold that focus, haven't you?
Like I said in the beginning, Mid-Ohio is a rhythm track.
Right.
And you got to get in that rhythm to make the most out of all of Mid-Ohio. And so with these yellow greens, it messes that rhythm all the way up. And so, there'll be a lot of rubbing going on out there.
Yeah, you're right. Turn 12, that's where the car is. Yep. Good thing is, once they pick him up, they'll be able to scoot him off to the top of the screen there.
Absolutely.
And get him out of harm's way.
Exit.
So we may get we will get one more lap under caution, if not 2, but then we'll be going hell-bent for leather for the finish. Rafa Matons knows it. Alan Jr. knows it.
Yep.
And I wonder if Brent Cruz can keep going and maybe pull it off.
Yeah, I tell you what, his restarts have been fantastic today.
Yep.
Why not have a pass for the lead on the next restart? There's
one
no
of those
reason
things
why you can't do that.
You know what? I know you get a lot of restarts in karting and any form of racing, but it's not something you can really teach, is it?
It's not. You have to be awake. You have to be anticipating what that guy is going to do in front of you, meaning when is he going to get on the throttle, and you got to time it just before he gets on the throttle. Right. And you can't get caught at it, too. So, looks like we got a black flag situation
I
again.
see that.
Yeah.
And so we've got a black flag situation, which means we will bring them all in. And that's how we work it in Trans Am. And we stop them all again, and then maybe, if we're lucky, we should get maybe a 1-lap, 2-lap sprint to the finish. But that's a real shame because I prefer that we were out there and going and maybe get a 5-lap thing. But there obviously is some serious situations. You only do a black flag when you feel that the corner workers are under pressure to get their job done, and it is dangerous for them to work under those conditions. So we bring the cars in, make it safe.
Yes, sir.
Are you enjoying this?
I'm having fun. Yeah. I'd really like to do
we're happy Norma's let you out.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to do a shout out to my owner of Future Star Racing, Mark and Alora McAllister.
Oh yeah.
They too are a true believer in young adults climbing the ladder in racing. They started a foundation. It's called Wings and Wheels Foundation.
Yes, I have heard of it.
And we've got it's all to support the young adult drivers that have the desire, have the talent. They just lack the funds to do it. And so Mark and Laura started this foundation. We no donation is too small for us. It's just a fantastic
and is it any form of motorsport, not just drivers, right?
Not just drivers, any form of motorsports. We've got interns working with us right now from IUPUI to learn about engineering, marketing, all aspects, PR, all aspects of what it takes to go racing. We just love helping the kids.
That's a great initiative. Really pleased that you're involved in that, and good shout out. And And like I said, if you want to
Great
know
thing.
more about, because there's probably quite a few youngsters out there who don't know your career, Checkered Past. Read it. It's a goodie.
Yeah, thank you. Yep.
And there's a reason why it's called Checkered Past. It's not just a play on words with checkered flag.
No, not at all.
It all looks great and rosy on the outside when you're racing and winning and spreading the milk,
right.
but there's a lot more to it. It's a tough world out there.
That's what the book is primarily all about. You know, I've had my challenges outside of the race car, and we share it with the world. And just simply put, if my story can help another individual that's struggling with addiction or substance use disorder, which is what I had, the book, it's for me putting myself out there, it's worth it if we can help just one, and so it's turned out to be a great thing.
You know what? Thanks. Kind words from Alonso Jr. Get the book. It's well worth a read and an inspiration to anybody, and I mean anybody. You don't have to have motor racing in your blood at all. Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break from Mid-Ohio. We've come to a complete stop again, a second black flag, quite unheard of, but that's what's happened here at Mid-Ohio. But it's been a cracking race so far, so don't go away.
Speed, endurance, desire. For 160 years, Motul has helped engines and drivers go faster, further, and stronger. Tested in the heat of battle, driven with passion, with one aim: to give you superior powertrain protection and performance. Motul.
Welcome back. We're in the black flag situation here in our Mid-Ohio race from TA2. So all the drivers, all the cars are in the pit lane. And as I can see, Andretti getting a little bit of water from his chief engineer and mechanic and his partner. Good to see her out there. And a great drone shot there, looking high above. Who says you can't put sponsorship on the roof? This is a great place to go. In the world of drone racing now, or drone coverage of racing, you don't necessarily just need to put the number on top. But the number is suffice. But you can put some sponsorship up there, and Hawk Performance are getting some good coverage from high above. Now, Ben Sissel has been beavering away all day. Let's head down to the pit lane during this black flag situation and join Ben Sissel.
Thomas Merrill, who seems to be a little bit disappointed that we might get restarted here. Thomas, what's going on in your head right now?
You know, by my math, this race has ended on time twice already, and with a minute and a half left, I don't see how we could even get to the line for a restart. So I'm waiting to see what the series does here, because I feel like we've earned this victory. We've been in the lead at the right time. The car's been awesome. I'm super proud of Brent behind me, looking real good in second place as well with another Mike Cope chassis. So I feel good about where we're at, but I'm just waiting to see what happens next. It's definitely out of character. I mean, the rules say that the race ends at 70 minutes, so we're well beyond that.
So, Thomas, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm hearing from the race control that they've stopped the clock under these black flags.
Yeah, they've stopped the clock with 1 minute and 40 seconds, and a pace lap is 2 minutes and a half. So I'm curious to see how they're going to make that work. Because honestly, as we come to the flag, the race should be ending.
Well, hey, Tony, if you don't mind, come around here. I got a funny shot. If you've been paying attention to Thomas Merrill last couple races, I think it was Nashville last year, they've got a fix for Thomas Merrill's door coming off. This little lock hinge right here. It's pretty funny. You see this lock hinge? There we go. And then we're going to come back here and talk to Connor Mosak, who I'm sure has a totally different opinion from Thomas Merrill in this M1 car. We spoke to Brent Cruz earlier, and it looks like he got 3 passes into Mission Foods Turn 1. Great pass there at the restart. And I'm sure Connor Mosak, exactly opposite of Thomas Merrill, is itching for a restart. Connor, what's in your head right now?
Well, I hope we get a longer run there. I feel like our car was getting better as those laps were getting down. When we lost the lead, there was all that debris on the track that they didn't clean up, and it was just all over my tires. Nothing we could really do with two corners to clean them off. And then the 70, I think, just jumped that restart there at the end. So hopefully our car is good enough to get one of these spots back.
Nice. So exact opposite. Connor Mosak in third, started first. He's hoping for a restart here, so he gets a chance back at Brent Cruz coming into Turn 1. It's another black flag here. We have stopped the clock. Al Unser Jr. and Jonathan, I'm going to send it back up to you.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, obviously differing opinions there. I can understand what Thomas Merrill is feeling. I tell you what, we've got Eric Norris out there. He's in 21st place, but, you know, while we've under flag situations, I've been reading my Chuck Norris quotes. And Chuck Norris has one quote that says, there is no finish line. When you reach one goal, find a new one. So I'm with Chuck on that, so that's a good one. I'm sure Eric lives by it. But I think we have just heard from race control that the race will be called, and that is good news for Thomas Merrill. So we have finished this race. As Merrill pointed out, they've done enough of the timing, and really there isn't enough time, because if there is just 1:40 on the clock, he's quite right. Let's head down to Ben. He's got our winner.
Yes.
Well, Thomas, I don't know if race control was watching or what happened, but how does that feel out here that you're getting the checkered flag?
You know, nobody likes to win under yellow, but everybody likes to win, and I'm certainly in that second category. So 2 in a row for us is awesome. I think this is where we should have been all season long. We got to keep rolling here. We got our eyes on the championship. This Bridge Hall HP Tuners Mustang has been amazing. And shout out to Brent Cruz and another Mike Cope car behind us in P2. So really proud of the work we're doing. We're going to keep rolling, baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, Thomas, I'll see you at the podium. We'll do some more interviews. Jonathan and Al, back to you.
Yep, a worthy winner, and Thomas Merrill is on an absolute roll at the moment. The man from Salinas, California. Yeah. He grew up racing at Laguna Seca. In fact, his first ever experience of motor racing, and you'll appreciate this, his mum took him around in the lunch break. She was doing the Porsche Carrera Cup races, or Porsche races, club races, and she took him around with his brother, you know, in the seat there, and he said, I love this, and
yes,
never looked back.
Indeed. Yeah, congratulations to the whole team. That's a team 1-2 finish, and it doesn't get better than that. Way to go.
So Brent Cruz, second place, a really good result for him too. You got a feel for Connor Mosak, Rafa Matos. I think we'll be happy enough that he's got a result out of this, because he said it himself. He didn't think he could win it.
Right. And then Scott Bruschetta.
Yep.
Fantastic drive
today. That is
today.
the best result of his year, without a doubt. Sixth place.
Super good job.
And you missed out what Merrill was saying. I don't know if you heard it, but Thomas Merrill was saying, you know, how can we restart this? He said, I understand the black flag, which is you stop the clock, but by his estimations, they only had a minute 40. So once the clock starts ticking again, you're not going to get a lap in.
You're not going to get that lap in, and so you know, it's a shame it finished under yellow, but like our winner said, you know, a win's a win no matter what. A W is a W. So.
Got a feel also for Misha Goikberg and, of course, Tyler Casera, who didn't get what they wanted out of the race either. And I think they will have a little bit of a steward's inquiry into that one. Because
yeah,
it
I
didn't
think
look
the
right,
stewards are going to be busy after this race, no doubt about it.
Well, listen, Al Unser Jr., it's been absolutely a pleasure to have you on board. What do you think? You've seen, since you've been a lad, you've been watching Trans Am right from the days of Mark Donohue, who you used to race against. What do you think? This
is the Trans Am that it was back when Willie T. Ribbs was winning the championships, and Scott Pruitt was in there. This is exactly what that is, the heyday. The heyday has returned. Well done, Tony Pirelli and everybody at Trans Am.
Well, listen, you go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go and talk to some youngsters, give some inspiration, and you can come back anytime. You're always welcome.
I've got an F4 race to run and an FR race to run, and so I'm Future Star Racing is not done racing yet today.
Good.
So,
Well, we'll be watching both those races and commentating on all of them. So
You got
good
it.
luck. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
in. Love
You
the ring.
betcha.
Got his 500
Thank
ring
you.
on. But let me give you the results then. And confirmation of the result then. Thomas Merrill with the win for the Bridge Hall HP Tuners Cope race cars. Wins the race in the Ford Mustang. Brent Cruz in the 70 takes second place. The youngster doing a great job for Micro Motorsports. Conor Mosak in third place. Rafa Matos in fourth. Guy Cosmo in his debut for Three Dimensional Services takes fifth. Scott Borchetta, what an effort by the 48. The Big Machine Spike Vodka Coolers Ford Mustang taking sixth place ahead of Adam Andretti, his good mate. Corey Heim eighth. Evan Pecor in ninth. Adrian Lostowski in 10th position. Great racing throughout. And a little further down, Elias Anderson in 11th place. Keith Prochuk, Darren Mock, Slater, Ankrum recovered to 15th. Archer, Abate up to 17th. Good job having started at the back. Ty Young, Barco, and Bruce Raymond in 20th position. And a lot of guys going by the wayside. Eric Norris taking 21st place in his debut. Well done. Chuck Sun, Tom Sheehan in 22nd. Lawrence, 23rd. Voigt, Smith, Gallagher, Pettypass, Goikberg, Casera, and Bose, unfortunately not making the checkered flag. And a little further down, Chris Cook, Doug Peterson, Luke Rumberg, and Ike Keeler, all DNF, and Keeler not even starting the race. So, plenty to talk about. Let's take a look at the highlights of TA2 Mid-Ohio. And as we got underway in a rolling start, as always, down the back straight, it was a neck-and-neck battle between Conor Mosak and Thomas Merrill. Mosak getting the lead, Brent Cruz putting all sorts of hurt on Guy Cosmo, and Scott Borchetta absolutely flying today. He was in the zone. Adam Andretti in the wars, fighting both with his teammate and plenty behind him. But sadly, the team owner going into the beach of turn 4, Doug Peterson going out of the race. Rafa Matos overtaken by Brent Cruz, whose restarts were sensational. Cameron Lawrence off at the carousel, going round and round and round, just like a carousel does. Talking of going round, Barry Bowes was as well, and out of the race. At the restart, another good restart from Brent Cruz as he dives from third to second. And that's where we would finish when his teammate went out. Another black flag, but it was Thomas Merrill who is king in Ohio. Plenty more racing to come from our SpeedTour weekend, though, so stay with us. We've got single-seaters, as we mentioned, and we've got more SVRA coming your way. Looking forward to the single-seaters, but we'll take a short break here from Mid-Ohio, so stay with us because we've got more action coming up from this famous circuit.
Is my house. My parents helped build it. Now we don't get wet when it rains. I don't get too hot or too cold inside. I can play with my sister, I can play with my brother, I can play with my mother, my father, my family. This is my house.
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 Visit Habitat.org to find out how you can help more families like mine.
My name is Monse, and I am a senior at Cristo Rey. We bring high school students and corporations together to transform education. I work 1 day a week at Ryan Companies. There are Cristo Rey schools serving students across the country. Visit CristoRayNetwork.org and learn how you can become a corporate partner today.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio, where the flag is flying and the wind is picking up because we are expecting maybe some weather a little bit later, but we're chilling out, as we always do. And it's time for our chill out moment because our chill out systems chill move of the day, cool move of the day is coming up. And it has to be the chill out, keep cool move of the race, and it will be Brent Cruz. He may as well have been Tom Cruise. Look at this. Cool as you like. At the restart, Brent Cruz in the white car on the right-hand side by side with Conor Mosak, and dives into second place. And that's where he would finish, and he was doing it all day long. But Brent Cruz, a man of the moment, wins our Chill Out Systems Chill Out Keep Cool move of the race. And as you can see, we're getting ready for the podium, so let's, without further ado, head down there as we await the winners of our brilliant TA2 race. Let's head down to Ben Sissel.
Wow, well, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. TA2, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. It is hot. Somebody bring me a Sea-Force water, a cold Sea-Force water. We have one around here somewhere. It is hot. And if you've seen Chuck Norris lately, you probably want to drink what Chuck Norris is drinking. Oh, look at this. A representative from Sea-Force Water out here. Unbelievable. Good timing. Thank you very much. Everybody gather around. Get a little bit closer here. We've got quite the celebration to go. And I want to celebrate one of my longtime friends in racing, the president of the Shelby Club in Masters TA2. Let's hear it. Kurt Vogt, the number 23 white Mustang. Kurt, get up on the top step, man. Hey, I'm proud of you. Nice job. And you had some early race issues, so take the mic. Tell us what it's like to be on the podium at Mid-Ohio in TA2. You're used to it in the vintage side.
Well, this is a surprise, a real nice surprise. I want to thank my guys for fighting with me on the car all weekend, and for Trans Am and SVRA putting this together. This is a surprise to be up here. I'm really happy to be here. The car's in one piece. We didn't run the race we really wanted to, but it's an honor to be here anyhow, and awesome day.
Nice. Did you thank all your crew? I did. Okay. All right, Kurt Vogt, Masters. Come on, get loud. Let's go. That is hard fight. It is hot out there. Kurt Vogt, Masters, TA2, the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. He's been fighting with this for a long time. He raced in Trans Am years ago, came back just a couple of years ago to race with us. Let's hear it. Cobra Automotive, Kurt Vogt, Masters, number 23, white Ford Mustang, fittingly for the Shelby president, right? Kurt Vogt, congratulations, man. Nice job. All right, Mid-Ohio, we got to get a little bit louder than that. Started off in the third Motul Pole Award that he's gotten this year. Started off at pole and slowly got passed throughout the race. He's disappointed we didn't get to a restart. In third place, let's hear it for Connor Mosak, number 28. And Nick Taylor, Custom Fit Underwear, SLR Fields Racing in an M1. Connor, nice job. Brent Cruz absolutely loves our Mission Foods Turn 1 here because he just slowly picked off driver after driver in that number 70. The youngest in the field, doing really well in Young Guns. In second place, let's hear it, Nitro Motorsports, Brent Cruz. And then first place again at Mid-Ohio. He won last time in TA2 with us in the rain at Lime Rock. Then he flew to Le Mans to get a second place finish, and then first place today. It's been a good month for Thomas Merrill. Bridge Hall, Mike Cope Racing. Connor Mosak, in a normal situation, drivers are ecstatic to be in third place, but I can tell by your body language you're disappointed in one of the most competitive fields in road racing.
Yeah, I feel like we, had a good shot to win all day. I feel like I was taking care of everything, the first half of the race, but when we needed to go, we really just couldn't pick up the pace. And then that restart where we got past, just had junk all over our tires from the track, just having so much, debris on it before we went green, and I feel like there wasn't really much we could do there, and then just didn't get a good restart there at the end. So I was hoping we had one more chance. It's, it always sucks kind of to end like that, not under greens, but is what it is. And our High Point University Nick Taylor Mustang was fast all weekend, and still good to get points for the pole and be up here on the podium.
Nice, and I think you're going to be on the top step soon. Connor Mosak, third place. Brent Cruz started in fifth, and it just seemed like you found something that nobody else did in that Mission Foods Turn 1. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, we had really good restarts. Everybody calling them did great. Nick just called perfect restarts, and I just could get a great run and pass people. I mean, we're disappointed for sure, having to end the race under a black flag after just being the fastest race car, basically the whole race for sure. It's heartbreaking. We ran him down, and then to get a black flag in the pits is just terrible.
Nice. Brent Cruz, ladies and gentlemen. And now, as I go to Thomas Merrill, let's hear it from the Mike Cope crew. Come on, get loud, Mike Cope. Thomas Merrill, take the mic. Tell us about your race.
Well, it was a long, hot race in the early phase. Connor had great pace out front, and we knew we had something for him, but it was just so close. It was hard to make a move around this racetrack. So at the restart, we were able to get close enough to make a move and get out front. And then it was just about clicking off the laps, staying clean, and taking care of the car. It was tough on the restarts because everyone heat soaked in the pit lane, sitting there in the sun. So it was about cooling back down, getting the temp back in the brakes and the tires, and going again. Fortunately, I got a good restart. So did Brent. Brent was an animal on those restarts, and my eyes were on him all the way to that black flag because I knew you were coming. I knew you had pace, but proud of both of us and our Mike Cope chassis. It's a great day for us.
Nice. All right, let's hear it now. Next, let's have a shot. Hold up the trophies. Thomas, grab your trophy. We got some cool hats to give away and the Sunoco hats. Let's hear it. Connor Mosack, Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill here on the podium, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And now, Eric, let me show these, Eric. Let me show one. This is a C-Force hat autographed by the Chuck Norris. Eric Norris ran his first race with us in TA2. He got his dad to autograph these hats for us. How cool is that? C-Force water bottles. These are autographed. Don't drink these. You know, those are special things you want to put in your trophy case. Let's hear it. Connor Mosack, Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill in those C-Force hats signed by the Chuck Norris. That is something cool to put in your trophy case. Now they're putting their Pirelli hats on. If you're wondering about the somberness of this podium, I think we've got two young guns here that we're really hoping for a restart. That's what's going on here. But usually we have drivers a lot more happy to be on the podium, but they wanted that restart to happen. Let's hear it one more time. Connor Mosack, Brent Cruz, Thomas Merrill here on the podium, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. We're handing Brent Cruz a cold C-Force water because he's not of the age to because Brent
Well, we just lost Sam for a moment there. Ben in his full song as he hands out the prizes, but a slightly somber podium simply because they all wanted to race some more. But anyway, we'll take a short break here from Mid-Ohio. More racing to come as the wind starts to pick up.
Lightweighting means reducing mass and consolidating parts. No one tackles these design and tooling challenges better than 3-Dimensional Services. We'll provide flexible tooling solutions, including integrating parts, reducing design complexity, or even design changes. We're the go-to source for rapid manufacturing and low-volume production. Trust 3-Dimensional Services to develop the most efficient approach to meet your lightweighting challenges today. 3-Dimensional Services. Prototype, production, proven.
As you can tell, I like to go fast. Our race team is really well prepared. We like to look good, but we also like to dress good, and that's why we shop at Franklin Road Apparel. I own the company, and I wear the clothes that we sell in that store. So check us out. We carry all the top brands: Baldwin, John Barbados, Billy Reed, Goodman Brand, and on down the list. So come see us. Franklin Road Apparel, Franklin, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio as we turn our attention once again to SVRA. The vintage cars coming out, as you can see. Tony Garcia, our man, on the ground, getting the low-down shots of these beautiful cars coming out in our latest race from SVA. All group racing, of course, and this is Group 8 and 12B. Hope to be joined by Ben Sissel for this one, but they've been waiting patiently as we enjoy our Mid-Ohio SpeedTour, all part of the vintage Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. That's not a vintage car, that's a modern Honda. Honda just down the way, of course. That's where they put these cars together. So it's a big racetrack for Honda. And, of course, that's why IndyCar come here. Honda and Chevrolet, the two big engine manufacturers for IndyCar. And we've got a really interesting group of production cars in this one. Looking forward to it as well. They get 2 feature races each weekend most of the time, if they've got the time anyway. And generally speaking, they do. Quick warm-up lap to get everything in order. And Ben Sissel is going to join me for this one. He's just come roaring into the booth. And I'm just trying to find my sheets for you on this one, Ben. But you pretty much know all these Alphas and BMWs. And some lovely Alfa Romeos out there. We've got a few Porsches. And this, of course, our coverage of Group 12B.
Here we go.
There you go. Ben Sissel, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for finding that sheet. I was wondering all over for the sheet for this one. So I can give you the identity and the colors, cars, and years of all these wonderful cars. Our pole position man is a 1994 BMW 328. That's the orange and white. But like I mentioned, we've got a few different Porsches out there. We've got some lovely little Alphas out there.
Yeah, we talked to Steve Sharp before the start of the TA2 race. He is with Forge Line Wheels. And then we have Lisa Hansen. Look for her, our fastest in Group 8, Porsche 911S. Brian Thomas Himes in a 1989 Ford Mustang in Group 12. Ron Pauly, Group 12, Lexus IS 300. Drake Dittman in a BMW 318 IS. Very fast driver, Drake Dittman. Nicholas Clements in a 1967 Porsche 911S. Chris Rader, Alfa Romeo GTV, beautiful car. Dan Witzak in Group 12 BMW M3. Jim Lenahan in a 1976 Porsche 9146. Greg Galdi in a 2003 BMW E46. And then Rob Davenport, watch out for this number 22 in a brand new motor, 1972 Alfa Romeo GTV. But, Jonathan, they're coming around the Optima Batteries carousel, so I'm going to give you the call.
Yep, just a couple more names to get in there, but we'll get them in as the race gets underway. But the safety car has pulled in, so that means we are going racing for our Group 8 and Group 12B as they roar past our commentary position and into action here as the lights go green. Steve Sharp leading the way, but he's under pressure already from Lisa Hansen on the outside in the 110.
Brian Thomas Himes, though, took the lead. Lisa Hansen made a pass as well over Sharp.
Yeah, he came from nowhere. He came from, what, third on the grid, and the Ford Mustang taking the lead.
Look at that snorkel on the top there. Lisa Hansen now, once they get after turn 4, she's going to have a little bit of an advantage. She is a very good driver, and that's a very nimble car.
Yeah, and Lisa's definitely tucking herself up behind the Ford right now and looking for a way past as they head down towards the kink at 3 and then down to the first real overtaking place at turn 4.
That's Lisa Hansen there in that 110. She is our 2021 SVRA Driver of the Year. Well-deserved, really hard-charging driver. And Ron Pauly comes next to chart there.
Do you get the special helmet for that?
You get a painting commissioned after your car. And it's a huge honor in all of the vintage racers. But there is Steve Sharp, 1994 BMW 328, obviously sporting some Forge Line wheels, followed by Ron Pauly, and then that 07 Chris Rader. Look at that. Putting it all on the line with Drake Dittman.
Nicely done. That was very nice. Just dropped a wheel down, did Chris Reeder in the 07 and the Alfa Romeo GTV, but no harm, no foul. Down through Thunder Valley once again. And heading towards the Optima Batteries carousel.
Okay, so now look for Lisa Hansen to try to make a move here. She's trying, look at that, hanging out her wheel. See that right front tire about 6 inches off the ground. You know she's giving it everything.
Awesome.
Brian Thomas Hines in a 1989 Ford Mustang. I had a 1989 Ford Mustang GT as a kid. They are quick cars. Not as nimble.
You always start your sentence with "I used to have." What do you do with all these cars? Do you rag them to death? Or?
It was my parents, so they sold it.
I see.
They sold it for a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bad move.
Oh, you're going to have to get new parents.
Yeah. There's Steve Sharp at number 54, BMW. And now, if you're wondering about this group, these cars are pretty equally yoked as far as time goes. They're production cars like Ron Pauly there in that Lexus, and he actually owns Toyota dealerships in Arkansas. But it's basically 1972 or older is the vintage Group 8. 1972 or newer is the newer Group 12 class. But we have a lot of Group 12 classes and beautiful cars like this E30 here of Drake Dittman. 1991 BMW 318 IS, and he was in tough contention last year for our Group 12 champion.
Got the classic Bavarian colors. I love it. The BMW, of course.
This is always a really popular Group 8 12 track. It suits them well because some of these Group 8 and 12 cars, like that Mustang, like that Lexus, are a little bit better on the straightaways.
Yeah.
But then the other cars are a little bit better, like the Alphas and the BMWs, in the twisty bits, and it's a pretty equal track for straightaways or twisty parts.
I noticed there's a Lotus Super 7 and a Ginetta G4 out there as well, and actually a Ferrari 308.
Yeah, man, Magnum PI's racing with us. There's the number 81A of Nicholas Clements, followed by Jim Lenahan in that Porsche 9146. Jim Lenahan has been racing with us a long time. I actually met him here 10 years ago. He was in a Datsun 240. And then there's that Rob Davenport. See that beautiful Alpha there, Rob Davenport from Louisville. And he said, keep your eye on me this weekend. I've got a new engine. And he says he's going about a second a lap faster. And then I want some minty green Tic Tacs right now.
Do you want to hear a funny story? I don't know Rob Davenport, but I know his name. But guess what? I went to college with his wife.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
She might be here this weekend.
I think so, yeah. That's Dan Witzak in that Tic Tac car. And there's another one of those four-leaf clover Alphas that we keep talking about of Raymond Nichols. 1971 Alfa Romeo GTV. Beautiful car. Look at those flares on the fenders with gold wheels. How crazy is that? You went to college with his wife.
She got in touch with me and she said, oh, my husband's away at some sports car race. You know, he's always racing. And I said, what, you mean vintage? And she said, yeah. And I said, what do you mean SVRA? Yeah. She goes, he's always away racing his dash cars and I have no interest. And then she goes, I'm going to Mid-Ohio. And I said, Laurie, I'll find you. I haven't found her yet, but I'll find her. Isn't that funny?
That is really funny. There's the 74 of Donald Wanagat, 1973 Alfa Romeo GTV. He's been racing here, and that's Rob Mocha. Mocha's in front of him. Rob Mocha's is a SVRA Driver of the Year award recipient from a few years ago.
Full course caution is out, so that's not good news in a vintage race, is it?
It isn't. I don't see what that is about. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us on our YouTube channel, SpeedTour TV, leave some comments where you're watching from. Tell us who you're rooting for. I believe that might be Dylan, the flagman there at the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers corner. There's that Tic Tac car. There's Rob Davenport. So you knew his wife in college. That's pretty cool.
Isn't that wild? And he didn't know her then.
Small world.
It is a small world.
Yeah, Rob, you kind of alluded to racing his dad's cars. He races a lot of different historic cars. In fact, he was with us in a Datsun that his dad raced in the SCCA back in the day at Indy with us last weekend. Then he went home to Louisville, not too far from here in Indy, and picked up the 22, fresh engine, and is having a blast here this weekend. So we're under full course caution. And remember, leave us some comments. Oh, we're getting all kinds of good stuff.
What we got?
We've got people from all over the world watching us and trying to explain to me quickly what kind of cars these are, because sometimes, you know, they slip by us. And we've got some Drake Dittman fans joining us on YouTube, as well as some Rob Davenport fans, so that's pretty cool.
Good.
As they come around there, Franklin Road Apparel, turn 4. There's Rob Mokas in that topless Alfa Romeo. We'll call it that. So we'll go back through the field. We stopped at Rob Davenport, 1972 Alfa Romeo GTV. Raymond Nichols in a 1971 Alfa Romeo. Rob Mokas in a 1969 Alfa Romeo Spider, like we saw in the movie The Graduate. Hope he doesn't run out of gas. Donald Wanigat in a 73 Alfa Romeo GTV. Peter Raganetti, fittingly in an Italian car, an Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint, 1966. Lee Poseidon, 1966 Alfa Romeo GT Veloce.
He's on an adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Poseidon's adventure. Scott Birkland, 69 Porsche 911. Glenn Maurer in that Marlboro-looking Penske Alfa Romeo GT V6. Beautiful car. They swept our trophy presentation last year at Circuit of the Americas. They had to get a bigger trailer just to bring all the trophies home. Stuart Long in a 1971 Porsche 9144. Terry Miller in a 1986 Porsche 944 Turbo. Tracy Shepard, Lotus Super 7 from 1962, an early Lotus Super 7. Russ Rosenberg in a 1976 BMW 2002. Roy Crowninshield, a 63 Jetta G4. Roy Crowninshield has one of the prettiest Austin Healey's that you'll ever see, but I don't know him in this Jetta G4, so great for him to be out here. And then Tom Vale Jr. in a Ferrari 308 GT4.
I've yet to see that Ferrari yet.
Yeah. I saw it out there earlier, and whenever you see that, you just want to see him pop out with the Detroit Tigers hat on, a Hawaiian shirt, and some short shorts.
Of course.
And a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we've got some Drake Dittman fans. Eric Kohler there. Akiri, Mark, and Mary watching from Wisconsin. Go Lisa and Nick. They were with us, and she brought out her beautiful T-Bird. But they're back in Wisconsin watching Lisa Hansen, the car that they take care of, the car in shot right now, that number 110. She's kind of a Group 8 car in a Group 12 sandwich.
What's this Jaguar flying by me?
Oh, man, the number 78. I don't have that.
That's not on the board
list, but that's a beautiful car. Looks like an XK150 from what I just saw.
So right at the back of this group, we'll see if we can pick it up, but just catching up with the rest of the group is this lovely Jaguar, all white. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's right at the back at the moment. Here it is.
Look at that
Look at that. Cracker.
Well,
that I like.
I found my favorite car in the field. No offense to these other cars, but if you ever drive, especially a British car, with wire wheels, that's pretty much all I'm ever looking for in a car. Beautiful car. I'm going to try to get some information and find out who that driver is.
Yeah, he's not on our current list, so he must have been lastminute.com.
Yeah, and I came right from the Trans Am podium to be out here. I'm guessing that's Tom Raganetti, and maybe his other car wasn't going. No, that's Peter Raganetti in the Alfa, so I'm thinking that's Tom Raganetti out there in a Group 8 DP. I don't have any more information. So if any of you are watching, yeah, see, even
Paul Gelpy, we reckon.
Cat Industries.
Paul Gelpy, we reckon.
Okay, yeah,
how about that?
That could be it. I don't see it on my list, so let's see. Paul.
Well, I've been, but the voice of reason has just been in my ear.
But why would that be a Group 12? That's before a 72. That's a 50s car. There might be some improvements done to it to move it to Group 12, though.
Okay.
And I do believe you're right. I remember thinking Gelpy with that, what you call a Jaguar, right?
Love to drive a Jaguar. He also plays the mean guitar.
Beautiful car. Still got the leather trim around the cockpit.
Yep. Oh, those are crackers. Those are really beautiful cars. Like you say, the wire wheels, the wood interior, the Jaguar emblem on the front. That's when men were men and cars were beautiful.
Yeah, I believe the XK120, the 49, was the first car to break 100 miles an hour, production car.
Well, in
Jaguar,
fact, if you remember, the Pebble Beach races were dominated by Jaguars like that, with the likes of Sterling Moss before they even built Laguna Seca. So they got a lot of fame and notoriety in America because they were one of the first big imports into America during the 50s.
All right, here we go. Here's a true professional. Alan Harris is saying the number 78 Paul Gelpy 12 BMP white Jaguar XK150. So thank you, Alan Harris.
There you go.
I love all the experts that we have out here.
Alan Harris, you got the job.
Yeah. Very nice. So you, people leaving the comments for us on YouTube, thank you. You will act as our producers right now. Tell us about these cars. There's Rob Mokas there in that beautiful, and see the Marlboro. Looks like a kind of a Penske paint scheme.
Yeah.
Livery, as you'll call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's that cat coming through Big Machine's vodka spiked coolers. A good day for those Big Machine vodka spiked coolers.
And how about Scott Borchetta in the TA2 race? What a result. 6th place.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever think you'd be in a room with Al Unser Jr. all by yourself calling a race? What a moment that must have been for you.
It was actually quite sensational because he's a lovely man. You know what the funniest part is? He was looking at the weather. He was doing his weather check for me. He's doing about 15 different things. But I tell you what, his insight into what is going on out there as a racing driver and what you should and shouldn't do was fascinating. And I'm so glad he's working with youngsters here in the paddock right now. He's going to have a couple of races. He's got Andre Castro he's looking after in the Rising Future Stars racing team. And, of course, he looked after Ernie Francis Jr. And Chloe Chambers last year. So he's part of the furniture now.
So we were talking about my 1989 Ford Mustang. I went to the 1989 Indy 500 where turn 4, it was Fittipaldi and Al Unser Jr. Two of them went into turn 4 and only one was going to leave. And it just happened to be Fittipaldi, and Al Unser Jr. got out and gave him the thumbs up.
Yes, that's right.
And
that's absolutely right.
And from then on, I've been an Al Unser Jr. fan, and it's one of those moments where, you know, a lot of times people say don't meet your hero. It's been nothing but great hanging out and talking to Al Unser Jr. Just a real gentleman. Great to be out here, and like you said, a great influence on these young drivers because he's just got generations of knowledge in his blood.
And if you haven't been on Amazon and got it yet, get on and buy Checkered Past because it's Al Unser Jr.'s book. Came out in October last year, and it's his life story, warts and all, as they say. He doesn't leave anything out. And if you know anything about the both on and off career of Al Unser Jr., you'll know that it's well worth a read. If you're interested in motor racing and American racing, well, he's royalty. He comes from the greatest family, you would argue, in motor racing in America, the Unsers. And it's a pretty close second or whatever with the Andrettis, but between them, they have done so much for motor racing in this country.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, you know, I always hear from my friends and different people, oh, you work in vintage racing. Isn't that just a bunch of old cars doing parade laps?
Nah.
And it is not. These vintage cars
as
are
they do
out
a parade
there
lap.
racing. But this is, you know, just bad circumstances here. But this is not normal racing. So don't think you're tuning into what normal vintage racing is.
No, it's a rare
All
caution.
of these drivers, especially this one here, Lisa Hansen, would like to be driving in anger. But
That's
we're
a pretty
behind the
little
pace
car,
car.
isn't it?
Oh, it's a great car. Really well prepared. And I was talking to Aaron with a Curie, and he wasn't planning on coming here, but somebody said, hey, you want to go to Mid-Ohio? And he's like, I sure do. And so here they are. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the caution's for, to be honest. But
I see a safety vehicle coming into pit lane now, so hopefully we're going to be able to get back up to green for at least a few laps and see if Lisa Hansen can do anything with these Group 12 cars that she's surrounded by.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, though, that we could be finishing under caution.
You know, we want to talk about that. We were talking about Debbie Cloud racing here and all the females that race in motorsports. And it's not like any other sports. There are no lady T's in motorsports. You know, this is, She's driving the car just as it would be prepared for anybody else. All the women out here. So this is equally yoked racing, and here she is at the top of her class in Group 8. As normal, she and the Ballbacks, who are also in her garage and stable, just go back and forth with us. But it's really strange to not see her in a race and getting either at the top step of the podium or on the podium. And that's why she was last year's SVRA Driver of the Year. And Debbie Cloud was an SVRA Driver of the Year as well.
And I can see the checkered flag being prepared. So that will end our Group 12B and 8. So not the way they wanted to end it, but hey, safety is safety. And they'll get another chance to do it again in the next race. Where else are you going? Because you do a lot more SVRAs than we get to see. Where else are you headed?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Next couple of months, we go to Portland for the Portland Speed Tour at Portland International Raceway. Next weekend, I'm at Road America with TA2. SVRA's going to Portland with the Portland Speed Tour with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli West Coast Championship. And then we go for the first time, New Jersey Motorsports Park. First time for me.
Oh, I've been there.
SVRA was there a few years ago.
Yeah, I've done I've done bike racing there.
Yeah.
Good one. They've got a little leap they've got over there.
Oh, nice. We'll be there in July, near the end of July, with FRF4. So if you're an SVRA driver up in the Northeast, make sure you visit us at New Jersey Motorsports Park for the New Jersey Speed Tour. You can get on SVRA.com or SpeedTour.net for more information.
So then that is going to be a win for the 58, who got the lead right at the start, Brian Thomas Himes, and doing a very good job with that Ford Mustang and confirmation then. We finished under caution, but that's how sometimes it goes. And it's Brian Thomas Himes who wins ahead of Lisa Hansen in that beautiful Porsche. Drake Dittman in third place. Chris Reeder in fourth. And then Nicholas Clemens fifth. And in sixth place, Jim Lenahan. Seventh was Dan Wichzak. Rob Davenport takes 8th position, Raymond Nichols in 9th, and Gregory Goldie in 10th position. And that concludes our coverage of 8 and 12B. So without further ado, let's take a short break here from Mid-Ohio. More coming your way, though, so stay with us.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.